Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are locked and loaded and ready to go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, the 15th day of October 2013 on this Tuesday edition. We have Tosh Plumlee, who was on Fox News last week after he'd been on our broadcast, and he says that they stabbed him in the back. He is, of course, a high-level, really whistleblower slash journalist. He's a famous whistleblower from the church hearings and the Iran-Contra hearings, still doing CIA contract work on record. And he went public on our broadcast about what really happened in Benghazi that concurs with our own inside sources telling us what happened. And they're now threatening him and more. He'll be popping in for about 10, 15 minutes at the bottom of the next hour. James Wesley Rawles will be joining us for the full third hour, one of the top real survivalist experts in the country and in the world, accurately predicting that the unraveling would begin very, very soon. With the EBT cards, the government shutdown, the default, all of it. He's going to be joining us coming up in the third hour, best-selling author as well, fiction and nonfiction. He'll be joining us coming up with key intel. He is former Army intelligence in the third hour and has a lot of high-level sources. In fact, he won't even allow his face to be seen now for the last decade or so. That's how serious he is about what's coming down. By the way, I talked to a lot of people behind the scenes, folks, of his pay grade and way above, and they're all completely freaked out right now. So when I've been up here and yesterday squeezed out a tear talking about America being destroyed and falling to tyranny, I saw some people on YouTube, I just happened to quickly look at some of the comments saying, oh, that's fake. You know what, I wish that was fake. I wish I had the power to just suddenly have my eyes filled full of tears and cry for this country, but that's not the case, folks. It's real, and you should be crying for this nation as well. We're in deep trouble. We're going to break it all down today, get into all the major news after the break, and then we're going to open the phones up, and I'm going to really try to go to your calls early in this hour. First-time callers, I'd like to hear from vets that were out at the demonstrations that are ongoing this morning, tearing down the barricades again that the feds put back up. They tore them down Sunday, of course, carried them to the White House, and then the police tried to attack the vets. I'd like to get your take on the communist Chinese lecturing us on a default, as well as the head of the IMF, as America becomes like a third world country. The EBT cards failing and the looting that went on. Then the EBT cards turning back on and giving it unlimited money. Just all the other news that we've got up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. The article that went viral last night that Watson put out in California, where the transvestites, transgenders, all different types. Can you imagine being a boy in high school and then being able to say you're transgender so you can go look at the girls in the bathroom? I mean, I just can't imagine it. The trouble that would have caused when I was in high school and in middle school, for that matter. And the girls say they're going in and harassing them and messing with them. I personally have witnessed a very famous transvestite in Austin, Texas, Leslie Cochran, before he died. This is about a decade ago at Access TV. By the way, he was thrown out of Access over it. And they were as liberal as you could get. They celebrated him, thanked him for being there. He would come there with his buddies and go back and forth in both bathrooms and totally freak out families, kids, you name it. They're like, well, let him go in both bathrooms. Folks, we're talking about doing drugs in the bathroom, vomiting all over the place. I mean, if it was a redneck guy doing it or an old woman doing it, everybody would be freaked out. And this is freaking people out. It's all part of the social manipulation to see what the establishment can get away with. I don't make fun of Bradley Manning. I think Bradley Manning's a hero. And if he thinks he's a woman or whatever, and what's he called, Brandy Manning? Chelsea Manning, whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, I think the guy really did a good job releasing that information. I don't sit there and make jokes about him and his sexual vision of himself or herself. My point is that there's a lot of other people that just use it as a way to grandstand and take over society with the social engineers. Alex Jones here, and I want to tell you about a longtime friend of the show, My Patriot Supply. As you might remember, this is the company that stood up to the DHS and exposed FEMA's secret plan to begin hoarding emergency survival food. It has always been my belief that it's key to stand behind companies who share the same values as their fellow patriots. My Patriot Supply brings us their exclusive Patriot Pantry brand, along with many other fine preparedness products. I personally store and use their high-quality products. It tastes great, and it's easy to store for up to 25 years. For a limited time, you can save $50 instantly on a 4-week supply of food, along with other special offers. Visit mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today. With the New World Order making rapid advances on every front, it is essential to prepare with My Patriot Supply today.
With over 3,000 years of historic use, pure silver continues to be one of nature's most reliable and effective agents against fighting viruses, mold, fungus, bacteria, pathogens, and parasites. At Silver Lungs, we have developed a reliable and easy-to-use full production system for creating endless pure nano-silver solutions right from the convenience and comfort of your home. Your self-produced nano-silver solutions can be applied topically to the skin. For many who are new to silver that wish to try silver for the first time, we offer a full line of consumables and cosmetics, such as our 2-ounce nano-silver nasal sprays, our nano-silver soap, and our most popular product, the all-natural nano-silver gel. Visit www.silverlungs.com to learn more about the industry-leading technology of the Silver Lungs system. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Ben Swan here. We are winning. Alternative media is challenging and beating mainstream media, and it's imperative for the liberty movement to continue this momentum. However, independent media cannot win without the support of sponsors and advertisers like Diamond Gusset Jeans. For over 26 years, Diamond Gusset has been owned by patriots with products designed for patriots. When I put on a pair of Diamond Gusset jeans, I enjoy the quality, comfort, durability, and style. Most importantly, my wife really likes them as well. From the cotton to the last stitch, Diamond Gusset bucks the industry standard by producing a 100% all-American product. Another reason for my endorsement. So Ben Swan is asking you to go visit DiamondLiberty.com right now. With promo code BEN, you will receive a 20% off discount on a pair of male or female Diamond Gusset jeans. Remember, DiamondLiberty.com, and you are directly supporting the growth of independent media.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center in the heart of the resistance. It's Alex Jones.
Well, more ice bombs are found at LAX near planes. Sounds like the TSA staging something so they can get more funding. If not, it'll end up being some mentally ill security worker themselves doing it for attention. It usually is. We're also going to be looking at what's happening with the continued government shutdown. We'll look at how the world government itself is hyping a collapse of world confidence if we don't go deeper into debt on our road to economic enslavement. This and more is all coming up today, and we have James Wesley Rawles joining us, one of the top survivalist experts out there who also studies the geopolitical. He's going to be joining us coming up in the third hour today. I want to give the toll-free number out and take your phone calls on any of the big issues that are taking place. The government shutdown, the vets restorming the shutdown memorials and tearing down the barricades yet again today. We're going to be tracking and following that. We're going to be just looking at all of the news here today. And, of course, taking your phone calls, first-time callers, long-time callers, people that agree, people that disagree. I will give preferential treatment to the social worker from Tennessee that called a few weeks ago, celebrating how great his free health care would be and how great Obamacare was, and how this is the triumph of socialism. He was very proud of himself. Now Forbes is reporting what Mike Adams reported here last week on the air and at Infowars.com and naturalnews.com. A whole slew of top programmers are in the Forbes article. They're also in a Fox News piece saying, indeed, it's a fake website. They know it doesn't work. It doesn't work, period. It's just there to get your data. And so Forbes is reporting today exactly what we told you last week, that indeed it is simply a data mining, data theft database for the Democratic Party, just like Facebook and Twitter are on record. They give all that data over to the Obamanoids as well to harvest the sheeple's votes and tax money and regulatory systems. So we're going to be discussing all of that today as well. And I would like to challenge the Obama supporters. In fact, I'm going to open the phones up at first because they're not open yet. I'm about to give the number out. That's when we open the phone system. That's when we turn it on. The first round for real Obamacare supporters. I saw a Democratic Party operative yesterday in the news celebrating the shutdown of the World War II memorials and again calling the World War II vets racist. Anybody that you don't agree with as a socialist is a racist. In fact, if a socialist or a communist or a control freak owned a restaurant, if you didn't like their food, you'd be a racist. I mean, that's just it's the answer to everything in the world. You don't have to be an intellectual, know how to tie your shoelaces, just call somebody a racist and talk about how great Mao Zedong is all day. So I want to open the phones up first, and then after I take a few of those, it'll be open to everybody. But the first 5, 6 callers, and by the way, we don't screen calls, but I want John Harmon to really screen these and make sure they don't start laughing, because half the calls that come in will be people joking. I don't want jokes, okay, and a guy in an NPR voice. I want the real deal. Now, the main way to tell them is they'll actually be laughing at you and be on a power trip and call you racist. So that's who I want on. I want the real deal. I want you to hear it because I see them on YouTube. I see the folks on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com in the comments celebrating and saying, you're just racist, you're just mad, you're just 1%er, you're just rich. You know, James Woods is a 1%er. That's why he likes the vets being able to go to the memorials. It's all just these weird class warfare, middle-class envy people that really think anybody that's got a nicer car than them, anybody that works 2 jobs, anybody that's an entrepreneur stole it. And then they're allied with the most vicious criminal offshore megabanks that run giant Chinese and Indian, basically slave camps, and Mexican close to slave labor camps, and robots replacing humans at Foxconn, and suicide nets and forced abortions and children by the millions chained up to fences and light poles all day, begging for food till mommy comes out after 17 hours with maybe enough money to buy a bowl of rice and then give it to their child. I mean, that's what we're competing with. You can't compete with a slave state. While the communist inner party lives in giant command bases with, in some cases, hundreds of mistresses and helicopters and just totally organic food. It's all on record. They don't take any of the shots, none of the GMO, their own secret farms for non-GMO, growing the food in greenhouses so all the toxic fallout from all the huge chemical plants doesn't get it. That's come out in mainstream news that China has, and the Times of London's reported it, secret gardens for the inner party. Suicide nets, mass executions, 7,000 riots a month, mobile execution vans, hell on earth. You're not going to hear anything out of Al Gore, anything out of Trendies, zero. If you paid $10 more for an iPhone, I've seen the studies, that would make those people be paid $20 an hour. Instead, they're just replacing them. Instead, they're paid 20 cents an hour. They're death camps, just literal death camps is what the Chinese slave cities are. Then they've got the liberal, trendy cities where the party members and inter-party members are allowed to live, where they live in luxury and bullet trains and glistening high-tech systems, better than anywhere in the world, incredible medical advances, and they don't let all the poor people into those areas. If a poor person gets caught coming into those key districts, they're beaten to death, or the Chinese police will cut a man's genitals off and then stab them a couple of times with precision-trained stabbing, just to make them to make them bleed to death over 2 days. And then the Chinese population has been trained, do not help the person or you're responsible for them. So there's just villagers and farmers and poor people bleeding to death all over the streets. I'm serious. This is in the news, but back of the paper. So I want to hear from you. You think the people, the globalists that set up China, put Mao Zedong in power in '49, are using China to leverage out the whole world as a race to the bottom? You think they want to give you something free because they love you? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. They got mobile execution vans in some cities, 24, operating 24 hours a day, executing people. You talk back to the police, you're executed. You get caught shoplifting to get food for your children, you're executed. You're taken to sports stadiums, and in the old days, and everybody comes and claps and they machine gun you. Men, women, young children, 10, 12 years old. There's photos and videos online. YouTube tries to take them down because they love China so much, and the communists, they don't want you to know, but you can still find them. You can see just type in Chinese executions. And guys, you don't need to do it. People can look at it if they want to, watching us on TV. You could see kids lined up being AK-47 in the back of the head, and then the commies just have celebrations after they machine gun people because they get off on it. Now, that's in the old days. Now they load you on the execution vans. The organs are chopped out, flown into Japan that's only an hour away on average, and then there's rich Westerners there to get the goods. They warehouse Falun Gong for practicing their Buddhism. It's not even really Buddhism. It's one end of it spiritual. It's like Buddhism light or Zen Buddhist light. It's an exercise thing. They don't eat GMO. They try to be healthy. They have healthy organs. So they warehouse them, DNA type them, and then when the call comes in, just like the movie The Island where they take you and take your organs, they actually do that. And you're taken and executed. Everything is taken, including blood, tissue, you name it. And freeze-dried for the elite person. It's also sold with it all in the same dumpling package to be shipped back to America or to Europe or to Japan. Just total hell force. And you need to understand the reason this is important is that the globalists, this is their ideal society, and they're actuaried it out to incrementally phase that in here. Let me give you an example of what I went through today. I'll either go swim in the river, the Colorado, or Barton Springs, or I'll run on the treadmill in my garage, or I will go to the hike and bike trail and jog. We have one of the biggest hike and bike trails. It's a giant Barton Creek Greenbelt complex in the country. It's farmers and ranchers' property. They took at gunpoint in the last 30 years. First, they don't let you use it. Then they devalue the price. Then they sold most of it off to the insiders and their friends. But the 100,000-plus acres in just one area that they have is constantly off limits now. If anything happens, they just gate it up and then give people tickets if you enter it. But people complain to the city, so I checked. Actually, they have special green police units who aren't even police, who aren't even working for the city. They're the ones that put up the tape. In fact, this morning I got there and tape had been torn down, so there was 8 members of a green police unit. By the way, I have video of them. These are citizen groups that put it back up, and they said, look, that's Alex Jones. They said, he's not supposed to be in here. And as I walked away, I heard the word police. So I knew that when I ran a mile and a half out, that when I came back up, there'd be police. And I shoot video, and this will be on the news tonight, with my iPhone as I go up. I go, I expect, as I pass the green police, that they'll be waiting at the top with police. And I get there, and I go, oh, no police. 3 police cars whip in. And they're looking at me like they have seen the Antichrist. And then obviously the cops recognize me. Then they start waving, and they go, no, we're not going to give you a ticket. And I said, technically, I've checked. That shouldn't be blocked. And they go, that's right, only no kayaks on the creek right now. I says, you won't give me a ticket. I have this on video if I go over the fence. I said, did somebody call the police on you? She goes, no, no one called us. I went, really? I've been coming to this very area 20 years and never seen you. Then I went back down to run again because I was mad. Thought I'll just run a couple more miles. They followed me. Have footage of that. I had the police go jogging after me. This is America. This is the Stasi.
Are you prepared for disasters, job loss, and uncertain times? Make Emergency Essentials your first stop for premier food storage and emergency preparedness supplies. Compare our food storage ounce to ounce, and it's easy to see. Emergency Essentials has the best quality and lowest priced emergency food storage guaranteed. Call Emergency Essentials at 800-999-1863 today or visit beprepared.com. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or beprepared.com.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Pills, pills, pills. If you've tried to fix your ED with pills or supplements, listen up. My name's Matt Cook with GetEDSolutions.com, and I've developed a system that often fixes ED from home naturally, without medical intervention. How does it work? My system addresses the root cause of most ED, which is desensitization. Desensitization is not your fault, but it's the #1 reason men get embarrassed around women. The more they try, the more things don't work, and the solution is to fix desensitization through simple activities you do from home.
I purchased your product yesterday, and it was fantastic.
I have used your system for about 3 weeks, and I'm already seeing great results.
If you're one of the 52% of men who suffer from ED, you must visit GetEDSolutions.com for a special report and video that shows you how to fix ED from home fast without pills or supplements. Visit GetEDSolutions.com for my special report and video on fixing ED at home. GetEDSolutions.com. That's GetEDSolutions.com. GetEDSolutions.com.
There are those curious about Bitcoins and those using and making money with Bitcoins. What are Bitcoins? A Bitcoin is the first decentralized currency that can be easily transferred from person to person over the internet. No bank needed. This means lower fees, and accounts can never be frozen, limited, or closed. You are in control of your money. And the best part? You can start earning and making money with Bitcoins right away. No computer or expertise is required to earn money with Bitcoins, and a growing number of merchants now accept Bitcoins. Plus, they're easily exchanged for dollars, euros, and more. Learn more about the easiest, cheapest, most profitable way to enter the Bitcoin market and get paid every 2 weeks by one of the fastest growing Bitcoin miners in the world at cloudhashing.com. Just like it sounds, cloudhashing.com. That's cloudhashing.com. We mine your business.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows
the good guys lost. Well, actually, not everybody knows. The average Democrat out there absolutely loves every form of tyranny under the sun, and the nanny state. Remember, last week, the U.S. Postal Service that had printed millions and millions of dollars worth of Let's Move stamps that show young people as stick figures playing golf, playing Frisbee, playing football, playing soccer, playing baseball. Well, they said that could be dangerous, so it's banned. And all over the country, they've already banned dodgeball. Now they're banning any type of ball at recess. Now they're banning any type of jogging or running. Now they're banning even anything but walking at recess in many areas. Government destroys dangerous sports stamps. Kids playing tag, bad. Police opening fire in public, good. Her article then gets into the police shooting everybody, but that's okay. And then this morning, I walked by people in green, state-funded, as I talked to some of them, repair group that was supposedly repairs the green belt so they don't wash out, which is fine and dandy on a giant green belt, or you could just leave it wild and let people fend for themselves. But the issue is, I walked by and they go, that's Alex Jones. He just went past the yellow tape. He's not supposed to do that. And then I was fading off, walking away. I heard the word police. So I come back up the hill after a couple-mile jog. I see them. I start talking to them. They go, hi. I have this on video. Hi, Alex Jones. I'm a listener. I'm a fan. I didn't count them all. I think it was 8 or 10. That was the first 2 that were down the hill. And I thought, okay, well, maybe the police aren't at the top of the hill. I get there. Police pull in. And they were looking at me real predatorily till I didn't really bow up, but I got really excited because I was going to explain to them how ridiculous it was and hoping they'd give me a ticket, because I talked to somebody yesterday that said they were down there giving people tickets. And I said, you know, I made some inquiries. I checked. And these hike and bike trails are not closed. And the lady cop goes, that's right. She was like freaked out by it. Because she could have just written me a ticket, and then I could have gone to court, and the jury would have been dumb, and they'd have got me. It's like, oh my gosh, one that knew. That's right. It's just no watercraft on the creek, which has already gone down to nothing. And I went, were you called on me? And she goes, no, look at my screen. This is a routine check. And I went, really? So then they get out of their cars, and I jog back down and jog back up. I was halfway up, so I was tired, and I was walking back up, and here they come, doing their inspection. And you have to understand how giant this green belt is. I mean, it's half as big as the city. All the people's land they've grabbed. And the point is, they didn't used to do this before. It's all part of just like shutting down the national parks. I guarantee you, they ever have a city shut down, hold people hostage, always growing their tax base. We have the worst zoning group. It's all Agenda 21. They get UN awards. They harass everybody. The point is, things are changing. Now, we're going to go to break. I'm going to come back. I want to hear from Obama supporters who literally, if the globalists have their way, will be in the equivalent of Foxconn slave factories with suicide nets being forced drugged. And they have forced abortions inside the factories. That's come out in the news. I mean, that's your dream world. When the globalists are in control, that's what they do. But as long as the leader says, I'm liberal, it's okay. I mean, the average trendy loves communist China. They love Mao. In Austin, they have a bar called Mao where all the trendies go. They have them in Colorado. They have them in London, and they worship Mao. I see all the rich yuppie kids wearing their commie shirts. And I've said to them on tape, on the street, I say, you like communism? They go, yeah, I do. Capitalist pig. And I go, so you're living on a trust fund, going to the University of Texas. Yeah, I know who you are, conspiracy punk. And I'm like, so, and then they'll go get in their BMW. Just understand, they are the leaders. They are in command. And doesn't matter how dumb they are, as long as they love Mao, they're in charge, like the 7 White House czars that hail Mao publicly. Al Gore went to public schools and said, you tell your parents what to do. You know better than them. We're taking over. And the middle schoolers clapped. They are the army. They are the future. I faced green police today. 99% chance they called the police on me. And I said, give me my ticket. And she starts getting her ticket pad. She goes, no, I'm not going to. And I go, oh, it's not supposed to be closed, is it? I I have you now. The green weenies put the tags up. I know, because I pulled them down yesterday. And when I got there, they were putting them back up. They're not supposed to be doing it. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order and like us on Facebook.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Coming to you from FEMA Region 6, formerly Austin, Texas. Now, on their own official maps, we've been to the Agenda 21 meetings. They openly say we are the center of the takeover of the entire state to turn it UN blue, basically. I mean, they're military. They're teaching everybody they're slaves. And the whole attitude of government's changed everywhere. And they want to shut things down. They want to teach you. Just like the times I've been to London, every time I'm there, they shut down major roads every day randomly. And they announce, if you're on a tour bus, because it's the Queen's pleasure, she wants you to know she owns this road. Because if you don't exercise a right, it doesn't exist. So the Queen randomly shuts down rivers, streams, parks, palaces that are really public centers, museums, and major roads. And that's all they're doing. They're just teaching you that you're a slave. And if you're foreigners on a tour bus the first day of the shutdown, you pull into Yellowstone, they're going to point guns at you and hold you in the hotel for 2 days because they're here to let you know that you're a slave. And I was just talking to Weldon Henson down at the water cooler, down at the ProPure, and he said, I got my socialist health care today, and started telling me the story about, he's been out of the Air Force, I guess, 7, 8 years. He's been working here 7 years. And he was just talking about how much worse the VA gets and how it's an example of socialist health care and how mean the police are and how they bug their eyes out at people and what else they were doing. And just how every time he goes, it's worse. Because you have to get your VA care, you got to go every year, have blood taken so they can spy on you and put it in databases and see how the vaccines they injected in you, what those did to you. Because they use them for guinea pigs on record. That's on record, secret testing on the troops thousands of times. Thousands of major projects, including lethal operations. You are the #1 enemy, a returning veteran.
Absolutely.
So the #1 enemy, how was it when you went to the VA today?
It's a pretty prime example of what a socialist healthcare system is. You go in there, you take your number. There's all sorts of people yelling at you, yelling out numbers. And if old vets are trying to stand up and get over to them, they're not quick enough. The guy's like, number 251, hurry up, and you wait.
Well, you said the cops are bugging their eyes out at everybody, strutting around.
Yeah, the cops walk around and they're all bugging their eyes out at you.
Repeat what you said by the water cooler.
Oh yeah, well, you take 2 hours just to get 30 seconds of blood drawn, and you wait numbers, and everybody's confused, and then every time you walk in or leave, they've got way more than enough police officers there. I mean, they're just all kind of,
Well, these are the vets. These are men. These are the enemy.
Yeah. So
we have an occupied government.
There's just a bunch of, for the most part, it's a bunch of old Vietnam veterans and stuff kind of walking in on canes and stuff, and they have these big military guys, way more than they need, just walking around, just gawking at you. Then I walk.
Well, you told me they bugged their eyes out of you.
Oh, yeah. But, I guess I'm kind of young and healthy looking, so they really want to bug their eyes out at me.
Well, they hate that. Yeah. Anybody that's got anything nowadays is bad.
Then I walk out in the parking lot, and there's a Veterans Affairs police officer in his police car, really similar to the NSA vehicle that we had roll up on us. You remember that? And he's writing parking tickets to people out there. So I thought that was kind of humorous. It's not funny, but it.
Were they parked wrong, or was he running their plates, or what?
Well, one was a motorcycle, didn't have anywhere to park, so they kind of parked up front, and that was, I guess, a big no-no. And
that's another thing. These cops all just pulled up in the neighborhood, blocking the street too. They just pulled up like they were God, parked out in the road, swaggered up. As soon as I wasn't afraid, they all looked scared.
Then they were given, I guess, they have spots. There's the big new VA outpatient clinic there in Austin. It just opened a few months ago. It's huge. And they have, I guess, fuel-efficient vehicle parking only and stuff like that. So if you're not a fuel-efficient vehicle, if I would have parked my F-150 in there, I guess I'd have got a ticket. So
well, no, it's all about their protected classes are special. Like in the public schools, the transvestites can go and look at the girls on the toilet and harass them, and if they complain, hate crime on the 12-year-old girl.
I just thought it was crazy. I walk out and it's just a lot of. It's just a lot of veterans, good-meaning people. I saw a bunch of good-meaning people. They're just trying to get health care, and they're sitting in there for hours waiting on simple health care. And then you go out in the parking lot, and there's these big, Veterans Affairs police officers, bugging their eyes at you, and they're writing parking tickets to vets.
Because you're a nice fellow. You say hi to people and stuff. That's what I've noticed at national parks, and more. You say hi or even wave or whatever. They just bug their eyes at you because you're the enemy.
Absolutely. Every time I walk in there, I say hi to people. I even at the cops standing, they're all standing by the door, and they're all looking like, it's like they're ready for battle or something. And I'm always like, hey, how's it going? And they're just like, Well,
it's because the foreign banks took over. They got armored vehicles, helicopters. It's time for war. I mean, listen, I've lived in Austin 25 years. I've been on that hike and bike trail, I don't want to exaggerate, 1,000 times. I've never seen what I see. There's now green police down there that'll boss you around. Tattletale citizens. Yesterday, a woman ran up 100 yards and said, you can't go on the trail. It's closed, and got mad when I said, I'm going to go anyways. And she ran off.
It's like living in the Twilight Zone here in Austin, Texas. There's no doubt about that. Bunch of power-hungry goons.
It's a bunch of nobodies is what it is.
It's all pettiness. It's just like people are more worried about trying to be powerful than anything else. It's like they don't even want to be successful. They just want to be powerful in their own little way.
We have those discussions, don't we?
Yes.
It's like a virus or something where people don't want to actually be successful. They want to imagine they're powerful and be obstructionist. Like almost everybody that's activists that have come from nowhere that no one ever heard of, we build them up, we give them a platform trying to build a resistance. They then flip out and want to bring us down and say we've attacked them and we've done nothing but give them just a carpet of gold politically.
It's not about being successful. It's about having your little petty power trip.
It's about tearing others down. I'm telling you, this country's in deep trouble.
It's
Well, that's what the so-called left wants with Obamacare. They want to get rid of the middle class. They want everybody poor.
Absolutely.
Misery loves company.
I guess if they're going to be miserable, they want to make everybody.
See, I can't handle it. When cops are bugging their eyes out at me, I just start getting in their face. I did today. Those cop cars pulled up, bugging their eyes out. I ran over to them. I was like, give me a ticket. Come on.
It's pretty.
Why don't you do something about the real crime out there? I know you got called here to henpeck me.
It was the same.
I don't care what they do to me, too. I'm sick of it. And I'm going down to the Alamo, too, with the armed march this Saturday, 10 a.m. Sick of it. Go ahead.
It was the same way. You know, we were at the NSA last week, or was it a week and a half ago? It
was last week.
Last week. They're going to show you. That's kind of their attitude.
And it's because there's a criminal group in control at the top, and they want everybody authoritarian. They want to get us in line. They want to teach us we're slaves. They go on MSNBC and say our children belong to them. They actually say in your face, your kids are ours. State of California says that in court. You have no parental rights. The state is everything.
It's amazing just doing day-to-day routines here in Austin, or if I'm just trying to go to the VA clinic, it's just like New World Order slave training.
My wife doesn't like to buy a lot of groceries now. She'll buy for like a week out. We had a dinner party Sunday, so she went and bought a bunch of short ribs and a bunch of other stuff. She had a big, giant thing full at Whole Foods. She had multiple people come over and say, man, that's a lot of money. And then the woman said, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to help this guy over here in a line where he's getting one thing. And it's all like socialism. In fact, it's funny. Before you came in, you said, I'm kind of dressed down today because tell me what you said. Before I even told you the story about my wife, because they come after you if you dress nice at the VA.
Yeah, kind of, you know, you get those looks and stuff. So
everything in America America's gone is what this means. I mean, we've gone commie. I mean, this is it.
I mean, I was in the grocery store the other day, and you know, and I guess you know the thing in Austin now, you got to bring your own reusable bags, and people look at me like I'm crazy because I don't walk in with my bags, and I'm just like, whatever, I'll just buy some of the plastic ones at the cash register. And I've had people look at me and just really look at me like I'm the biggest.
Oh, no, I get lectured.
Yeah.
And for years when they were nudging us, getting us ready, they would say, you didn't bring your own bag?
I'm like, no.
So they got a law passed. Meanwhile, they don't care about GMO. They don't care about chemtrailing. They don't care about anything. They don't care about missing nukes. They just all want to sit around their little cult and say, we're the bosses. It's a gang.
It's a mentality, you know, it starts from the top and moves down. I can remember being in the military, and there were just people that just sat around trying to make rules all day and procedures and policies. That's what they did. They just sat around. It's like, if you made the most policies and rules, then you got like awards. Like, you know, hey, we're going to, just the 6 years I was in, by the time I got out, I was like, man, wow, I'm so glad I'm getting out. It's just like, it's like prison in here. And it's like, people got awards for coming up with more rules and regulations. You make up the most rules and regulations, here's an award. That was kind of what it was.
All right, Weldon, thanks for coming in here, buddy.
Yeah, glad to be here.
You bet. You're a very dangerous, evil person.
I look like it, I know.
All right, we'll see you later. There goes Weldon Henson. All right, I said I would go to Obama supporters, and then we're going to take calls 30 minutes in the next hour, and then Tosh Plumlee's going to pop in with a Fox News update. He says they betrayed him when he went on Fox News last week. Big whistleblower on Benghazi. He'll pop in for like 10 minutes. But I want to open the phones up now for Obamanoid supporters. Here's the toll-free number, 800-259-9231. And I'm not trying to be mean. I know you've had a lot of fluoride, a lot of GMO, a lot of McDonald's growing up. I understand you watch a lot of television, but if you happen to be listening and you want to call in and have a victory dance on the healthcare system being wrecked, because they're now saying, oh, this is our plan to wreck it to bring in total socialism. Oh, yeah, the foreign banks that run all this, they really want to give you something free. I'd like to hear from you now to call in and tell me I'm wrong. Or maybe you want to admit we're right now. But 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. We want to hear from you on air. And then after we take some Obama supporter calls, some Obamacare support. I mean, are you proud of the riot police? That, by the way, the Austin Parks police were wearing the same weird blue uniform that the riot police in D.C. were wearing. It's like UN blue on the top and then darker blue on the bottom. Actually, the cops weren't that mean. I mean, they had obviously been called there on me, and then were like aghast that they'd been called in on the dangerous, evil Alex Jones. Where, again, I don't even bow up to cops. I just have, it's like a combination of laughing that there's actual green police showing up, and I was laughing at them. And it's not like laughing on purpose to make them feel bad. I can't help it. The 3 cop cars come shooting up, bugging their eyes out at me. And as soon as I started laughing and turning my camera on, the seriousness went right off their faces because this country's so screwed up and they know it. They actually destroyed stamps that showed kids playing sports last week because the thought police say they're not allowed. They're actually banning bringing Nerf balls to school to play before school, during recess, or after. That's all we ever did. Nerf footballs are banned. They're evil. If kids are seen playing with Nerf guns in their backyard, the thought police call the school, they know who to tattle, and the kids kicked out of school. And the police uphold it. These are not ninnying liberals. These are authoritarians. They give you free laptops. They're not free. They're taxpayer paid for to watch you from Kansas to Pennsylvania to California to Canada to England. They've caught, to Germany, the free school laptops watching the kids. Because it's a program. Of course they're watching you over the built-in cameras and microphones. It's now declassified. They're total criminals. The government is total criminal. Doesn't mean the average mid-level minion's a bad person, but the bad guy is captaining the ship. And it ain't Obama, it's El Diablo. And I'm telling you, it's just going to get more spacey and weird and out of control from here. And the good news is liberty is rising. Humanity is waking up. Yeah, there it is. Harrington High School used laptop webcams to spy on students at home, suit alleges. No. The school did a promo video showing that they were watching them in the shower. They called the police on them because a girl was eating Skittles. An 11-year-old was eating Skittles in her underwear. Go look at the lawsuit. And the media acted like, these parents are suing. How dare them? They thought she was taking drugs. It would look like pills. Thank God they're watching her. And then it cuts to the resource officer. It's how they first found out about it. Going, yeah, we watch the kids, and if they're doing something bad at home, we take a picture and show it to them the next day and say you shouldn't have done that. And it's like, Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone. That's like a case out of Kansas again. No. This case was Tennessee. It was another one in Kansas. There was a case in Tennessee about 7 years ago where the middle school girls basketball team came, walked in, got in the shower after the game, before they got on the buses. I never took showers after football or whatever. I just stunk and went home, and they would always give us junk food, hamburgers on the bus on the way back. But the point is that they go into the showers. Some people did take showers, but the point is the 11 and 12-year-old girls go in, they're taking showers, they see cameras in the showers, freak out, their parents are out waiting to pick them up, they freak out, there's almost a riot, and the police were in the news going, of course we watch you in the shower. And everyone went, oh, you watch us in the shower. The authority figure says you watch us in the shower. This is a cult, folks, a cult. And I don't even know if the Green police, the Green volunteers called the police on me, even though they talked about it, I heard them. He's passed the tape. Well, we need to put up more tape. Police, as I'm going down the hill. Police. Maybe neighbors called the police on me. Because, again, you come up to a trailhead, there's a neighborhood nearby, and a woman in a car 100 yards away gets out, runs over and says, you don't go. She was Asian, didn't have too good English. She goes, you don't go, it's closed. And was like real angry, bugging her eyes out. And I was like looked like a 25-year-old woman. And I was like, I'd seen her down there before. Never even said anything to her. And I was like, well, I ignore stuff like that. I ignore bureaucracy. Went and like ran off. And I thought she would call the police. So, I mean, who knows what's going on? But I mean, this is how disgusting our country's gotten. Now, we got Prophet in Arizona who claims to support the overlord, the dear one, our God, our King, our Lord, our Savior, our lovey-dovey, Obama. And if you don't say that, you're racist. And then we're going to talk to Adolf in Michigan, pro-Obama. Now, we'll see if these are joke calls, Steve in Chicago, and others when we come back. And then we'll take their calls for 30 minutes of the next hour and get to all the other news. And then I'm going right to your calls when we come back. Briefly, we sold out of the Nascent iodine again. So more is on the way. They are producing it at the top organic lab in the country. And let me tell you, we tried to go get it from other suppliers, and I'm not knocking other people. It tastes like rocket fuel and it's terrible. And we've had it looked at. It's breaking down. It's not real nascent iodine. I've been told by my sources, Dr. Group and others, this is probably the only real nascent iodine in the country. And I'm not, I mean, that's why I did a year of research on this, went with them, but it's a smaller lab, so they are literally at full capacity to produce this. The other stuff, we've tried competitors, we can't sell it. It tastes so horrible. I'm not being mean. It just, it's alcohol-based, even the glycerin-based ones. I don't know what's going on. The group we use is so amazing. And if you want to get it, it might be a couple of weeks till you get it, but it's the only place to get it is InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com also has it, but InfoWarsLife.com links right through to the subpage. You can get them in 1 bottle, up to 10 bottles, and get discounts. With Fukushima continuing to melt down, the radiation levels going up in North America, the Northern Hemisphere, I went with Dr. Group, folks, after, well, really 2 years of research, but a year on iodine, as my top advisor, because he really is the best. And he helped us formulate this for InfoWars Life, InfoWarsLife.com, Survival Shield, and your purchase supports the broadcast. And not only is it the best pure nascent iodine, that means it's not bonded. It doesn't have to be broke down by the body. Don't take other iodine, folks. I need to have a special video just on that. Okay, the point is that this is the stuff right here. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Are you someone who forges your own trail? Are you a pioneer with the need to homestead your self-reliant entrepreneur spirit? If so, RF Bunker has a franchise opportunity for you. RF Bunker is the fastest growing emergency and survival retail store in the United States. RF Bunker franchise opportunities are leading the way for business-minded heroes seeking adventure in owning and operating their own emergency supply and survival store. Visit rfbunker.com or call 866-623-2932. This offer is not being directed to any resident of the register required states.
You are now in the crosshairs. The NSA and the FBI are treating you like a criminal and monitoring your every move. Ron Paul said recently, the evidence of the totalitarian nature of this government is on display undeniably every day. What's taking place right now is a coup and the destruction of the Constitution. Fortunately, there is something you can do about it. Learn how to be invisible, lock down your privacy, and even disappear forever. Go to privacylockdown.com to learn how. That's privacylockdown.com.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you, has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day, unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order and like us on Facebook.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Paula Watson's got a new article up on Infowars.com. Looks pretty suspicious. Hidden messages and new $100 bill. Multinational food corporation wants to spy on you. Kurt Nemo. EBT card users threaten Rodney King style riots. I know we have that video. I want to cue that up later after I take calls. They say, look, you ever let this happen again, we're going to burn this place down. It's going to be Rodney King riots, baby. Whew, gotta love it. If you don't give the globalists power over your life, they'll stage terror attacks. Don't give the welfare hordes all the free stuff, they'll burn your city down. Life under terrorism. Wouldn't pay the Roman fire department 2,000 years ago? They'd burn down your neighborhood in Rome. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Worse than healthcare.gov. EBT food stamp system crash is inevitable. Here's why. Mike Adams breaks it down. Our food stamp riots coming. Stores ransacked and torn apart during food stamp outage. Obamacare's website is crashing because it doesn't want you to know how costly its plans are. Forbes now concurs with their IT people with Mike Adams here last week at InfoWars. Girls threatened with hate crime charges for complaining about transgender bathroom harassment. That's right. Don't like people looking through you through the stall. Don't like, oh, you're bad. And there's also the article about nanny states bans running water. And they banned sports stamps. Now they're banning being there running water. I'm not kidding. And then today the police were obviously called on me because I dared go back to the scene of my crime yesterday. I'm admitting to the crime, folks. Of course, there actually wasn't a city ordinance in effect over the Greenbelt. They just lied and put stuff up. Gotta love it, though. Like they've locked down the national parks and they want to arrest you. They want to put their mitts on you. Slave. This is slavery. They just brought slavery back in. They have all these petty rules and things to get you in the system and feed off of you and keep you under their thumb. Let's talk to, we've got a whole bunch of Obamanoids on the phone here. Who should we talk to? Steve, Joe, Prophet, Adolf, Kyle? Which one sounds real, John Harmon? Joe in New York. Tell me about how great Obamacare is, sir.
I think Obamacare is a wonderful boost to the economy. In Canada, a lot of the industry has moved from the United States, moved to Canada because they have free health care and boost the economy and create a great system up there, free medicine, free everything. And when you redistribute the wealth, everything gets better and the economy improves, and that's why we should have a 100% tax on state tax, and have a tax rate 70% the way it was in the 1950s.
Well, the Democrats do support that, but you know the ultra-rich put their money in tax-free foundations and offshore, so they want all the estate tax of the middle class to get rid of it. Do you understand elites throughout history are at war with the middle class? That's an admitted sociological, anthropological fact. Are you aware of that?
Yes, so Obama is actually kind of a nice guy. He, he should be probably president for life, and perhaps...
you're being sarcastic. All right, who else is real here? Who else do we have? Is anybody real? It's true that most Obama supporters cannot dial telephones. Kyle in Pennsylvania, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. First of all, I think there's a lot of problems with the Obamacare plan the way that it is today. But I do think that in some way, shape, or form, the government needs to step in and set rules, set limits, and have there be some sort of overseeing body in the healthcare division.
Well, I mean, if the Archangel Gabriel was going to oversee a socialist system just for healthcare, I would support it. But see, Satan basically oversees it. The eugenicists oversee it. And so anything they give us will be a screw job. And the bigger it gets, the bigger the screw job is. Do you understand that criminal special interests wrote this?
Yeah, I absolutely understand that the insurance companies were involved in its inception. But I also think that as the healthcare plan gets implemented and as we go along, once people see its inferior form today, there's going to be a resistance to it. And
there you go. And then the demand to bring in full socialism. That's the talking point I've heard. Stay there. I want to come back and hear that. This is a plan, folks.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products. And get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
You want to know how bad the economy really is? Walmart's having one of the worst years it's had since it was started. We're going to be getting into that news. That's really a gauge of what's happening to the working poor. I'm about to go back to Obama supporters, Kyle and others, Adolf, Prophet, Steve, who say they support Obamacare and love what's happening. Kyle's giving us a real answer, and I want to talk to him. He's obviously a real Obama supporter. We're going to go back to him in a moment. I was just reading, though, during the break, a video that just went up this morning. Nanny state bans running water. And that's a report that was on the nightly news last night. I'm going to have this posted on Infowars.com, and I'm going to tweet it out during the next break at Real Alex Jones. Because, see, I know how they've done this in other countries, how they did it outside San Francisco, how they take over land. First, they take farmers and ranchers' land outside development zones under the guise of saying it's going to be a green belt, a state, federal, or city park, or county park. Then they ban the vehicles on the existing roads that were there, including paved roads. Then they get the mountain bikers and the regular folks, the hikers, to call for a ban on cars. Then they ban the cars, except for the police vehicles. Then they have the hikers call for the ban of the mountain bikers. And then they ban humans altogether. And now they're banning, you heard at National Seashores, you can't get in the water on the east and west coast in most areas. Our affiliate, one of our affiliates out in Santa Cruz, is always reporting on NOAA, the National Weather Service, going out and arresting surfers if they get within 100 yards of a whale. There's always been whales out there. It's just any way to get you off the land to teach you under feudalism you have no right. The average green cop doesn't know this. And they always bring in the little green tattletales, who I ran into this morning. And you see, I was there yesterday, did this video covering it, had a woman come up and tell me I shouldn't be on the green belt because it rained the other day. And then today I heard the green volunteer police say, hey, Alex Jones is here. Hey, he shouldn't cross over. Hey, only we're allowed to be here. Police. I didn't hear what they said. Then the cop showed up 20 minutes later. But look at this comment. And I'm going to go to break and come back, because some stations don't carry this segment. Kyle, so I want to let everybody hear you as a real Obama supporter, explain why you like it, then Adolf, Prophet, Steve, and others. I want to hear from Obama supporters. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. But I want to read what Freedom Quest 08 said, commenting on my video, Nanny State Bans Running Water. Just like they banned stamps showing sports last week for the National Postal Service. By the way, I'm not joking. We actually broke that. Now it's mainstream news. This is a takeover. You're like, but it doesn't make sense. It's absurd. That's the point. When pimps on shows about pimps and hoes say, I pay my bitches nothing, that's what this is all about. It's about totally breaking you. They're going to take your child at the airport. They're going to grab their genitals. If you say you don't like it, they're going to arrest you. It's their country now. You got it? Now let's get back to it. They do this bleep with Boise, Idaho foothills as well. But it's even worse here, as there used to be roads. First, the BLM, by proxy through lobbyist groups, got the mountain bikers and the hikers to lobby to ban motorized vehicles. Then they got the hikers to lobby and ban the mountain bikers. Now, when it rains, they just close the trail to hikers because, God forbid, someone walks down the trail and makes a footprint in nature. I omitted the expletives. Get a job, you fat hippie. That's what the next person says to someone saying we shouldn't be on there. And again, Austin, in one swath, in, was it 1996, stole 40,000 acres that they'd already not let people use for a decade. And they said, you know what, we still keep your property tax high, even though you sued us. Sell us it for 3 cents on the dollar, we'll let you. And they would turn part of it into a park, and then the rest they'd sell to literally the mayor's bank. The mayor became the head of a bank, and then he owns it all. And they got the cops, and they got the guns, and they're going to take everything. You got it? It's redistribution. Yeah! We're going to come back and talk to Kyle about Obamacare, then Adolf, Prophet, Steve, and others. I'm an extremist. I'm red-blooded. I'm a bad man. Alex Jones here, and I want to tell you about a longtime friend of the show, My Patriot Supply. As you might remember, this is the company that stood up to the DHS and exposed FEMA's secret plan to begin hoarding emergency survival food. It has always been my belief that it's key to stand behind companies who share the same values as their fellow patriots. My Patriot Supply brings us their exclusive Patriot Pantry brand, along with many other fine preparedness products. I personally store and use their high-quality products. It tastes great, and it's easy to store for up to 25 years. For a limited time, you can save $50 instantly on a 4-week supply of food, along with other special offers. Visit mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today. With the New World Order making rapid advances on every front, it is essential to prepare with My Patriot Supply today.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order, and like us on Facebook.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We've got big economic news, shutdown news, government default news. We've got big Benghazi insider whistleblower, Tosh Plumlee, joining us. He was on Megyn Kelly last week, and he says Fox News set him up. He's going to be popping in at the bottom of the hour for 10 minutes, but I'm about to go to Obama supporters and their calls. Kyle from PA, Adolf, Prophet, Chris, Steve, and others. We're going to go to you in just a moment. But first off, Rachel Maddow, Janet Reno's daughter, Big Sis's daughter, came out and demonized the vets. Now, I covered this yesterday on Monday from the Sunday, showed the Democratic Party website actually calling the World War II vets racist because one person out of 10,000 plus, that's estimated to have shown up because it was uncoordinated in different demonstrations, had a rebel flag patch on their jacket. That could just mean you went through on a motorcycle trip to Georgia. Usually it's just about pride and heritage and states' rights. But regardless, you don't blame a whole group for wearing a rebel flag. Off of that now, they're basically saying they're all racist. And then Maddow lied, because I've checked and followed this. The D.C. police, the federal police, they are all being paid. They're seen as essential services. 83% of the government is still operating. 83%. Now, the debt default is another issue entirely. They could still put that off for months. For 3 months, they said that there was a 0% increase in the national debt because they hadn't passed a debt increase. They could just do that again and just make it up and say, we don't need to default because there's been a 0 increase. It's all just made up fiat, 1.5 quadrillion fake derivatives that Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of England, all of them made. So they're holding us hostage. But there's a little reality to a debt default down the road, which they hold us hostage with. But she came out and said none of them were paid, and the vets threw barricades at them. We've looked at the footage. The vets carried the barricades and took them to the White House as a gesture, saying, you're not going to block this. And the vets, when the police were trying to billy club them, said, we're not violent, and then pushed the cops back. And the police wisely didn't beat their brains out like they normally would, because you know what's going to happen when you attack those veterans. We've had enough. We know there's tyranny in this country, and we're sick of it. And now Forbes has had their tech people analyze the Obamacare exchange. It's fake, like Mike Adams, who's a really smart programmer, folks. I know people that know programming, that know him and say he's genius level in many aspects. He looked at it, broke it last week here, that it's fake. All it's doing is getting your data, and they've tracked where the data's going, the National Security Agency. That's why their computers literally caught on fire last week with the traffic. Talk about burning the lines up. It got so hot in there with power surges, it blew the computers up. So even their data snooping isn't working. They're such greedy criminals to get all your data. So we're going to go to Kyle, but I want to play for you Rachel Maddow, a lying pig, a lying disinfo agent. This is a lying slob. They've got other people on there that get up there to say, I'm deeply racist and behind the Boston bombing, and then show no proof. My lawyer said, hands down, you will win this with a jury trial, but it'll cost hundreds of thousands, and they'll just pay it with tax money they get in stimulus money. Do you want to spend all your time going to trial? And I said, how long do I have? He goes, 2 years. And I said, nah, I'm not litigious, but man, if any harm comes to me, if one of your mental patient viewers, one of your low IQ viewers blows me away saying I'm a Klan member or something, I want it on record. I want all of you sued personally, okay? If one of your wind-up, just like the Southern Poverty Law Center guy went in the Family Research Council and shot a bunch of people saying, because, you know, Southern Poverty Law Center said they were racist or whatever, that happens to me, you're going to be held accountable. You understand that? One of your moron viewers. I mean, you got the dumbest viewers you sit there and lie to. Make me sick. We're going to go back to Kyle and others here in a minute, Obama supporters. But here's Rachel Maddow saying the cops aren't paid. That's on record a lie. And saying that the military, the veterans attacked these toilet attendant looking. I mean, these police are wearing the same uniform as the park police. So this is like the new Star Trek. This is the liberal brigade outfit. Here it is.
So the protesters rallied with the 2 Republican senators who led the way for the shutdown, Mike Lee and Ted Cruz, expressing their outrage that the things they want to be open are closed now because of that shutdown. They then picked up the barricades that were around the closed World War II memorial and dragged the barricades over to the White House and hurled the barricades at the White House. Then the protesters went home, so the police, who through no fault of their own are working without being paid, the police had to pick up those barriers.
Let's stop right there.
Drag them back to where they came from.
Let's stop right there. Folks, I've tracked this and we've covered it, but let's pull it up to prove she's a liar. I want an article done on this. Those aren't D.C. police, but they're being paid essential service. The federal police are being paid, the federal security guards. It's all on record that none of that's shut down. This is absolute bull. She's lying to her viewers again. And then she said the Republicans don't like what they like being shut down. They hired extra people to go put up barricades to keep people out of open malls. I've been to D.C. There's no one there but security guards to come over and harass you if you try to videotape. I've been to the World War II Memorial. There's 2 federal security guards there, you liar. Now there's like 50. We've seen the live feeds. We've had reporters there. You are a dirtbag liar. I'm calling you out, scum. I'm sorry. Go back to her. Go back to it. Go back.
Drag them back to where they came from and keep working their shifts without being paid because of the shutdown that these folks made happen.
Hit pause. Hit pause. Hit pause. Did you notice they edited where the cop attacked the vet first, and then the vet? Oh my gosh! Just like NBC got caught editing the Trayvon Vart. My, I didn't even pick that up the first time I saw it. Play that again. Play that again. Man, these people are an enemy force. They are really occupying the country.
Because of the shutdown that these folks made happen.
Back it up more. Back it up. Back it up 20. Listen, if you're a TV viewer, it's the same footage we showed Sunday and analyzed. The veterans come up. They're putting the fencing down, and the cops ram them, so the veteran pushes back. They edited that out. That'd be like if they showed Reginald Denny having his head beat in and said that he'd assaulted the people. Or that'd be like if they animated Rodney King beating cops with a club and then cut to the... I mean, it's just totally made up. They ought to just have a graphic of like Kennedy firing machine guns. That's why somebody shot him in the head. They could do that with computer technology. Kennedy was actually in a shootout in Dallas. Did people know that? He had a howitzer in the front of the car and was firing it. Folks, this is the same group with Bill Gates involved and all the rest of it. I'm actually having a meltdown right now on air. I can't even believe what I just saw. I need one of the writers to do a report on this. NBC edits video. NBC edits video to frame veterans. Play it again, because I just saw that. They edit the clip where the cop attacks the veteran. Play it.
Through no fault of their own, are working without being paid. The police had to pick up those barriers, drag them back to where they came from, and keep working their shifts.
Back it up again, because I've seen that footage so much. The cops push first, then the veteran and the cop push each other, and it appears to be edited. We've got to check that. Play that again.
Police, who through no fault of their own are working without being paid, the police had to pick up those barriers, drag them back to where they came from, and keep working their shifts without being paid because of the shutdown that these folks made happen. Vaguely threatening, but
right there's where they do it.
Patent.
They don't show the whole exchange. We have them now. But it doesn't matter. Their viewers don't even know. Kyle, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell us why you support Obamacare. I apologize for making you hold. Go ahead, sir.
No, and, let me just, and this might upset you, but I'm not an Obama supporter. I'm much more along the lines of, like, Webster Tarpley, where I do think that there should be certain social safety nets for the population. There's no reason that Dick Cheney should have an anatomical heart and no pulse, but if I were in his same situation, I would be dead. And from my perspective, the only governing body that can sort of set the rules or equal things out is the government, because the insurance companies aren't going to do that. Capitalism isn't going to do that.
Well, here's the problem. Socialism always ends up collapsing. Socialism never works in the end because the corruption creeps into it. And if you look at Obamacare, written by the insurance companies, they didn't have a hand in it. They bragged, they wrote the whole thing. It's already doubled everyone I know's premiums, including poor people. And it's pushing them out of the system where they'll just pay the fine and then still have no health care, and then charity care will take care of them. But you said before the break, you said that, well, this will just wreck it further and then we'll finally get justice. Listen, there's no amount of socialism that will end up giving the dependent class enough to take care of themselves, and then it does create more dependency and then a source of entitlement and does degenerate societies. Are you denying that?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that Obamacare, in its flawed form that it is now, is, for better or worse, a step in a direction where, eventually, when people's premiums do start to go up and they realize that Walmart has exceptions and McDonald's doesn't have to do this for their employees, that in a perfect world, people would resist and people would push back and they would demand equality, and so that no matter how much money you have, no matter, what status you hold in the community, you get the same exact...
No, you're absolutely right. This is the thought process of people like you who aren't bad folks, and you sound like you're pretty smart at a certain level. You're not looking at history. They're going to raise taxes on the middle class out of this, and it's going to take everything over until everyone is basically poor except for offshore banks. And then you will get socialized death care like England.
Argue that unions and unions workers did not do great things for the wages of American workers.
Undoubtedly, if you go back in the last 100 years, unions did a lot of good, but now they've become corrupting forces that vote to open the borders up and drive down wages and support NAFTA and GATT and support shipping General Motors to China. The unions are there to sell America out now, the big ones undoubtedly, and then in other areas of the country to harass people that are trying to hold on by their fingernails that aren't part of their mafia. Alex Jones here, and I want to tell you about a longtime friend of the show, My Patriot Supply. As you might remember, this is the company that stood up to the DHS and exposed FEMA's secret plan to begin hoarding emergency survival food. It has always been my belief that it's key to stand behind companies who share the same values as their fellow patriots. My Patriot Supply brings us their exclusive Patriot Pantry brand, along with many other fine preparedness products. I personally store and use their high-quality products. It tastes great, and it's easy to store for up to 25 years. For a limited time, you can save $50 instantly on a 4-week supply of food, along with other special offers. Visit mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today. With the New World Order making rapid advances on every front, it is essential to prepare with My Patriot Supply today.
We travel so much, and having a fake TV, well, it gives added peace of mind.
Burglars look for houses that appear to be easy targets. But fake TV can fool even professional burglars into thinking someone is home watching television.
As a recent widow living alone, it gives me great peace of mind to set my fake TV near a window and know that passing motorists and pedestrians will think someone is home watching TV when I'm actually away from home.
Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet, just like a light on a timer.
And they're so easy to use. You just plug them in and they're ready to go. Plus, they're so affordable that we have one upstairs and downstairs.
Fake TV is only $29.95 with free shipping. Order your fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Great news, Pure Water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Available only at hempusa.org. It's the first aid stick, and it's a must-have in any medical kit. With fast, chemical-free healing, the first aid stick stops bleeding, kills bacteria, is great for acne, insect bites, minor cuts and abrasions, will last for years, and is just $11.95. Everyone needs the first aid stick in their emergency kit. Call 888-910-4367. 888-910-4367. The first aid stick, only at hempusa.org.
What if you had a witness everywhere you drive? Now you can with videodashcam.com. From truckers to motorcyclists, the handy video dashcam can be used for insurance claims, accidents, police encounters, road rage, or natural disasters. Has instant screen playback and optional night vision. Get the best quality, affordable HD dash cameras available at videodashcam.com. That's videodashcam.com. Or call 855-855-2022. Always have a witness with Video Dashcam.
Folks, we aired the live feed Sunday and then found the clip online of the police initiating force on the veterans that brought the gates, the fences to the White House as an act of protest from the shutdown memorials. And we now went and checked the raw footage. MSNBC did indeed edit out the police initiating the attack on the veterans. NBC News, to their credit, on Sunday actually aired where the police initiated it. Maddow, the entire thing she says in the minute and a half clip is a lie. She says the police aren't paid, that they threw barricades at the police, which never happened, and that they attacked the police, and that Republicans only want things they want open. No, they don't want 5 times to 10 times the police, like the Grand Canyon or the World War II Memorial called out to wire shut the fences and not let tourists in, you jackass, you liar. Just like they worked with the French to block the Normandy beach so people couldn't go to it. I mean, they bend over backwards, and we all know it about dirtbag bureaucrats. You soulless people. You're the type of folks that get in the fast lane and drive below the speed limit, and you'll team up with somebody else to block someone in. I know, because I've gone around in my younger days on the shoulder. They'll gun it and try to stop you. They are so weak and so passive-aggressive and so pathetic and so stupid and so just weasel-like that they live to hold down hard-working people. I've had it with you, and I know who you are, and I'm sick of it. And then it just makes me so mad to see Rachel Maddow. I mean, this is the same network, the same group that edited the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman 911 tapes, and are being sued over it. To make it sound like he said, he's a black guy, get him, all black guy. Truth was, he's like, yeah, there's a guy, he's got a hoodie, he's looking in cars, looking in houses. Yeah, he's looking erratic, walking around the rain, looks like he doesn't know where he's going, might be on drugs or something. What color is he? Is he black? Is he white? Is he Hispanic? He looks like he might be black. Yeah, I think he's black. Yeah, there's a guy walking around with a hoodie, he's black. Boy, I tell you, that's really magic how they do that. So the cops, they come up with billy clubs, hit veterans. Well, MSNBC just takes that out and cuts the veteran pushing back. You are the biggest slime bag I've ever seen. But why not? They say I'm deeply racist and that I'm behind the Boston bombing. I mean, why not lie to their viewers? It's all a complete lie. Let's talk to Steve in Chicago. Steve, do you love the Obama gang rape that's going on?
Jones, you're a putschist. You're bent on a coup d'etat with your fractional Tea Party. That's all they are, is fractional. You guys don't want to admit this thing was passed in the Congress, signed by the president and okayed by the Supreme Court. You're just trying to subvert it. And if you talk about the debt ceiling, why don't you real estate flip Arlington Cemetery? I'm sure your real estate flippers that support this program can do that. Also, the rare metals dealers, why don't you just melt down the Lincoln Memorial and the Statue of Liberty and the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia? And that's what you guys are always talking, money.
McGruff, hold on just a minute. Socialism doesn't work. This is worse than socialism. This is globalism, where the elite are above the law, tax exempt, create socialism, promise everybody something great, wreck it, and then, as I predicted months ago, you guys will clamor for even more, saying, you people wrecked our free Obamacare. Is the exchange... Okay, so you said I'm subverting things. I'm subverting healthcare.gov. You're saying I'm the reason it's not working and it's a screw job. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we didn't have this when Medicare came in. with Senator Dirksen and McCormick. I don't ever remember this kind of behavior. And also, you talk about socialism. Aren't you the guy that always had Bob Chapman on there and predicting the euro and Athens, Greece was going to fall? Aren't you the guy that was predicting that Cyprus was going to fall? And who's gone?
It has. I mean, what are you talking about? Everything we've said's coming.
Gone. Yeah, Chapman is gone. The euro is still there.
Well, that's because it's used as a unit. Its founder said to rob everybody. It's not our opinion. Then they're going to roll it into the SDR Global Union. That's all being announced. Are you saying I'm wrong? You're okay. So I'm going to melt down the Liberty Bell. Wow. That's like saying Alex wants to hurt old ladies. Okay, Alex wants to hurt old ladies. Alex is the one that messed up Obamacare. I knew you people. So you poor thing, you're really counting on some free health care, aren't you?
Yes, sir. And you'd sell your own mother for a pair of shoes.
I would sell my own mother.
For a pair of shoes, that's right. Melt down everything to precious metals. And then you could just flip it all the time.
McGruff, listen to me. Can I hear McGruff the crime dog endorse Obamacare? Can you do it?
Obamacare. Obamacare. I love Obamacare.
You're a piece of work. You really are an Obama supporter.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Ben Swan here. We are winning. Alternative media is challenging and beating mainstream media, and it's imperative for the liberty movement to continue this momentum. However, independent media cannot win without the support of sponsors and advertisers like Diamond Gusset Jeans. For over 26 years, Diamond Gusset has been owned by patriots with products designed for patriots. When I put on a pair of Diamond Gusset jeans, I enjoy the quality, comfort, durability, and style. Most importantly, my wife really likes them as well. From the cotton to the last stitch, Diamond Gusset bucks the industry standard by producing a 100% all-American product. Another reason for my endorsement. So Ben Swan is asking you to go visit DiamondLiberty.com right now. With promo code BEN, you will receive a 20% off discount on a pair of male or female Diamond Gusset jeans. Remember, DiamondLiberty.com, and you are directly supporting the growth of independent media.
Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
Coming to you from Austin, Texas, resisting the nanny state.
take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance. You're listening to Alex Jones.
Well, I knew it. We've got real Obama supporters calling in, and they're saying they want their free health care, even though they already have it under Medicare and Medicaid if they're poor, even though there's charity hospitals everywhere, even though my dad's worked in them, Ron Paul's worked in them, Dr. Blaylock's worked in them, even though I know more about health care management than 99.999999999% of people, because I got a bunch of family that's been in it forever, and I've interviewed all the experts. The general public just calls in. They've bought into Obamacare. They believe they're getting a free deal, and they don't care that the health exchange doesn't work. They don't care it's all a giant fraud. They want to believe it's real. They want their free deal, and they say, hey, let it wreck the whole thing, then I'll get real socialism. Yeah, what you'll get is incredible scams, because the establishment is going to take anything we do and turn it into a screw job. This is not the free market that did this. We're going to have Tosh Plumlee on with us in just a moment to give us an update on what happened with Fox News, selling him down the river. He talked about it on his Facebook site. With his Benghazi info he gave them, and they didn't turn it into that. They took it and twisted it. And he says his life's basically in danger because of this. So we're going to get a statement from him and an update on Benghazi in a moment, in the aftermath of the Senate Intelligence Committee threatening him and more since he came on this show. But speaking of mainstream media manipulation, Darren McBreen has got the footage, because we captured it off the live feed. And he's going to put it together with Rachel Maddow from last night, where she said the World War II vets and others attacked the police. And she edited it. When the cops attack them with billy clubs, they then push them back. They just cut it off where the cops attack them. This is the MSNBC and NBC who are on record. This is the raw footage we're showing TV viewers. Radio listeners can't see it, obviously, yet. Where the cops shove them and the vets shove back. Maddow cuts it off. I mean, it's just no shame in these people. And then she lied and said the cops weren't paid. When we checked, they're paid. And the vets didn't throw the barricades at the police. There's no footage of that. Nobody to let. She just sits there just on a teleprompter lying to her viewers. And I know they lie, but I mean, this is getting bad. So this is going to be big national news when this breaks. So Don Salazar is working on the article. We're getting the video put together with the original clip and her clip lying, with subtitle to explain to the dumbed-down sheep what's happening. That is coming up. We got some other breaking news as well. Briefly here, I want to do some mid-air refueling. We fund this operation with your support. We don't get taxpayer money, stimulus money, and banker bailout money like MSNBC, the globalist crime command base's mouthpiece. We don't get any taxpayer money. We get supported by our sponsors and by the products we sell at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsHealth.com. When you go to InfoWarsHealth.com and buy the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 organic non-GMO, when you buy all the other great products there, it supports the broadcast. When you go to InfoWarsLife.com and buy the Survival Shield, the only real nascent iodine we've been able to find, developed by Dr. Group, that is just unbelievable. With all the radiation levels increasing and Fukushima melting down again and all of it, you're insane if you don't get it at InfoWarsLife.com. It's sold out. More is being made right now. We'll have more in about a week. So get your order in now so we can ship it out to you. We're trying to get all the other orders out. We've gotten about 95% of them out. So the point is that we thank you for your support. Get the nascent iodine, the atomic pure iodine at InfoWarsLife.com. Get the dash cams that are camouflage that look like your rearview mirror. It just hangs over that. It's HD with a camera. You can turn and videotape wildlife, the police, bureaucrats, road ragers, whatever. This is something, how many times do you wish you had a camera? This is the best system, the lowest price. It's got a free 8 gig chip, stick with it. Other people sell this for $150, $200, okay? I'm a capitalist, free market. I sell it at the lowest price out there. That is the lowest price the manufacturer will allow us to sell it. $99, InfoWarsStore.com. We have the Pro Pure water filters, the lowest the manufacturer here in the U.S. will allow us to sell it for. Stainless steel, cuts out the fluoride, the glyphosate, all of it. The best system. I researched it. We didn't sell water filters for a year because there's nothing good out there. It all turned into crud, in my view. And customer service problems and stuff, you know. So we went out and found the best. This is what I use for my family, what I use on the road. They have their traveler system, their nomad system. InfoWarsShop.com, 10% off with promo code WATER on the ProPure systems and the other good systems we carry as well. It's the best. We've got several less expensive systems that are really good. They obviously aren't as comprehensive. So InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. And when you buy all the great products, we're capitalist, win, 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 win. High-quality products, lowest prices we can sell them for, stuff we use, stuff we've researched, stuff we endorse. And then you get something you really need and support free speech and hardcore truth tellers. People ask why I get wound up and aggressive. I just faced down 8 green police and 3 cop cars today saying I couldn't go on the green belt. When I checked, there's no ordinance and it's not in effect right now that I can't be down there. And I'm not saying I'm some hero either, but I'm in a war every day with the communists here in Austin. I mean, I'm done. I have the big whistleblowers on Benghazi. I have the missing nuke whistleblower info. I have the Navy SEAL families on. I break it. I cover it. I do it. I belly up. I am a maniac. Maybe I'm bad. Maybe Obama's good. Maybe communism's good. Maybe National Socialism's good. Maybe Rachel Maddow's good. Maybe I've been wrong, but I can't help it. I will not be a communist. Now, excuse me, I'm going to stop right there. I am rabble-rousing for liberty. We're in desperate straits. You got all these fake talking heads up there, the prettiest face they can get, stick them up there like the nice girl next door, Megyn Kelly. And then we get the connections done, get Tosh Plumlee on there, and they turn it into 15 seconds talking about how he worked with narco operations, almost implying he's a bad guy or something. When he's been working with the Mexican Marines and Joint Task Force 6 out of Fort Bliss, Texas, to stop drugs, while the black side of government, the dark side, is on record shipping them in. And so I wanted to get him on with us to talk about what happened to him, because he put it out on his Facebook that we'll put up on screen for folks, and I'll give him the address, that this is endangering his life. And he, again, is a famous whistleblower of the Church Committee, if you just joined us, and then of Iran-Contra. And you ask, how is he still working government? Because there's a light side of government. He doesn't work in government. He's a private contractor. Flying into the Middle East, you name it. And he exposed that the State Department was shipping guns directly to Al-Qaeda, that they weren't just getting Libyan arms. That's what my intel has said as well. This is somebody else confirming with a high-level NATO source and another source, we'll just leave it at that, at a military base, high level, that this is indeed what happened. Okay? And this is a famous whistleblower for folks. People don't know who Chuck Yeager is. They don't even know who Neil Armstrong is. And I'm not comparing Tosh Plumlee to that. He doesn't want to be called a hero. But he's one of the most famous whistleblowers at 76 years old alive today. He flew arms in the 50s to Fidel Castro for the CIA when he worked for the CIA under Eisenhower. And he's also a veteran. Never talked about that. You know, Tosh, I know I'm ranting here. We've got about 9 minutes to break, and we'll let you go. So I know you're a busy guy. Tell us what happened with Fox News and why you're so upset. And, you know, reading your Facebook post last Friday saying that this endangers your life, what they did. Do we have Tosh Plumlee? Yeah, you're on.
Okay, am I on there, Alex?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hey, thank you for having me back on. I do appreciate that.
You bet.
I know we have time restraints here, so I'll try to recap the best I can. Sometime back, I asked 11 questions pertaining to Benghazi. I won't go into those 11 questions right now. I directed those 11 questions to our elected officials that were involved in the investigation of Benghazi. Basically, the question was, why did U.S. weapons show up at the crime scene? How did they get there? Who authorized the shipment of the weapons through the direct commercial sales program to go into countries in the Middle East to be transported by contractors, CIA contractors, in safe houses from Jordan, into various factions of operations in the Middle East, whether it be the Syrian rebels, factions that had infiltrated the Syrian rebels. All that, to me, did not matter. My question was, who did the authorization to ship the weapons with C-130s into Jordan, Turkey? In the process of that, Fox News contacted me, and I thought that's what we were going to talk about. Also, I thought the situation with Kiki Camarena and his death came up, and I knew Kiki. I'd flown Kiki, and there was some documentation about the thing that Kiki had run into. Kiki Camarena was killed in 1985, executed. He was actually ratted out by elements within the CIA. not because he had found a marijuana farm in Carl Quintero's ranch, but because he had stumbled onto a very secret operation run out of the United States, shipping weapons down to the southern front in Costa Rica to arm the southern front of the Iran-Contra operations down there.
But they were also funding the communists as well. That's what's really important.
Well, that's right. That was for the people, the young generation that hasn't studied that. Sandinista and a southern front was formed, and a secret air base was made down in Santa Elena, Costa Rica. Weapons were going to Costa Rica. Drugs were coming back from that area to finance the operation of the guns going south. Two people found out about that. Kiki Camarena, DEA agent, and also a Marine colonel by the name of James Sabot out of Marine El Toro Naval Air Station. His command had run into what they thought at first was a drug running operation going through El Toro, but later turned out that he found out about the gun. This was what I thought we were going to talk about on Fox. It got up to where I explained the details behind the Kiki Camarena murder, kidnapping. Also, his pilot was shot right in front of Kiki. Kiki was had to bury his pilot friend, and they hit Kiki over the back of the shovel and broke the shovel and drug him in the house and tortured him for 2 days and kept him alive. It was not over marijuana that man was killed. It was over the fact that he had found out about the CIA thing, the Mexico CIA thing known as Operation Penetrate. That's what got Kiki Camarena killed. That's what I was trying to tell Fox News. Fox News, I thought I could trust. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not upset. And I'm not going to let myself on your air get upset. I'm going to try to relay exactly what happened.
Yeah, tell people whose show you went on, what happened.
All right, I was filmed for 45 minutes, telling basically everything I'm telling you. And then when it aired, it was cut out. And it lays the impression to me and other people that I was the CIA pilot. No, it wasn't a CIA pilot. I was the pilot that had flown Quintero, Carl, from the Buffalo Ranch to Guatemala so that the DFS, the Mexican police, and our authorities would not get him. So it appeared that I was a drug pilot that had run Carl Quintero out of the country, and that's the way it come across. The stuff about CIA, the information about what Kiki had run into and reported back to his superiors was not recorded in that interview. That upset me immensely. It put me in some pretty bad situation with people inside Mexico because of the Task Force 7 operations that had been going on since 2009 through 2013, or the early part of this year. And I reacted. And so I started posting on Facebook. I posted some very sensitive documents to confirm what I was saying, known as the Borellis file. I called it the Hector Borellis and Phil Jordan. They were already public on this. My information dovetailed tied into those agents, and that's where it was covered. Some of it was covered in.
Well, you said in your Facebook post that I saw that this endangers your life.
Well, I mean, I think 2 and 2 can be figured. I sure as hell not going to be going down to Mexico anytime soon. 2 things here. I worked 3 years with a task force down there that was training out the Marinos to go in and take out the Zeta, who, by the way, has American arms, and took the American arms from Mexico arsenals that had been shipped by the direct commercial sales to Mexico. This was a legal operation run by the State Department. The reason that Kiki Camarena came into this picture was because I said that the Benghazi situation was the same MO.
Sure, so you were trying to go on about your past and then Benghazi and the info, and they just spun it and turned it into some total distraction that wasn't even accurate.
What I was trying to do was use the Kiki Camarena situation and the weapons smuggling to the southern front of the Iran-Contra, the secret air base in Santa Elena, Costa Rica. I was trying to use that as an example that the same situation.
Sure, you're trying to explain this is bigger than Iran-Contra because now it's to Al-Qaeda type groups, and that's a great way. But of course, they taped it and then butchered it down, and I knew exactly. Yeah.
Whatever they did, and for whatever reasons, number one, I was told it was going to be aired on another program. The Bill, I can't pronounce his last name, Genesis or whatever. And then found out it was going to be cut and switched over to the new Megyn Kelly show. I don't listen to these people or any of them. I don't pay any attention. I don't need people to tell me what I did. I know what the hell I did. So then it gets chopped up, lays on the floor. I claim.
No, that's what they do. Look, in closing. In closing.
We know what they do. We know what they do. We know what's going on. I'm not anyway, that's not important what I am.
Well, listen, we're almost out of time, and we appreciate your courage. Anything else from the Senate Intelligence Committee? Any more threats to shut up?
Yeah, just tell me to shut the F up. That's all. Anyway, I know we're out of time, and I appreciate you.
No, but you say you've now been threatened again. So first they said, we'll see about that now.
We'll see about that, and then I'm messing with a national security matter, and it's being investigated, and I'm doing a lot of damage, and I'm putting people on spot. Hey, man, I'm on spot. I want my country back. Simple as that. I know you're out of time here. I want my country back. That's the only damn reason I'm talking to you, CBS, or anybody who wants to listen. All I'm asking, answer those damned 11 questions.
No, I understand. You're tired of playing games. I am too.
I'm tired of the double talk. We're losing our country. Get off our ass and do something about it.
I hear you. We need more people, whistleblowers, to go public, like Michael Hastings said, and they blew his car up.
Alex, where you call them whistleblowers or whatever the hell you call them, I call them American citizens. Get off our butts and demand that these people do something that we've elected. If you have to throw all the babies out with the bathwater, then let's throw them out. Start all over.
No, I hear you. Tosh, I do want to get you on the nightly news, uninterrupted for 30 minutes, to lay everything out in case they try to come after you or kill you or something. We appreciate your courage. God bless you. We've got Obama supporters, Prophet and Doug, straight ahead. Toll-free number for Obamanoids, 800-259-9231. Thank you, Tosh.
That's the sound of a .44 Magnum and Trauma Max, a high-tech hybrid Kevlar bulletproof vest from InfidelBodyArmor.com. Will stop it and most pistol rounds. Trauma Max is a major breakthrough in pistol-rated body armor, and prices start at just $170 per insert. More protection, more stopping power, more mobility, and it weighs less than 5 pounds. Get details at InfidelBodyArmor.com. That's INFIDEL BodyArmor.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 is part of your daily routine, puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. TERAGANIX.com.
Before you slip into unconsciousness.
Well, I don't know what just happened. We had a bunch of Obama supporters on the line, listening on AM and FM stations in places like Michigan and California on XM 244. They all just hung up during that break. I guess it was mean to call them Obamanoids. I'm sorry. Smart guys. How's that sound? We had a lot of smart guys, wise guys. I hate to be mean. It's just that, look, I was against Bush, and he was horrible. Obama is like 5 times worse. I can't even believe it. I mean, just butchering everything. And I know it's because of the season we're in. I know it's because the tyranny is getting worse. If there was a Republican, they'd probably be just as bad. But the Democrats go, well, he's a Democrat, so I'm on the winning team. As you're being raped, as the big insurance companies laugh about all this, you still think you're going to get a free deal. It's like you buy the lottery ticket, it doesn't work, so you buy another and buy another. I predicted all this because I know the mentality. That's why they thought they could get away with this. Toll-free number for Obama supporters. For smart people to explain to me, a dumb racist, how I am racist. 800-259-9231. I mean, Rachel Maddow said so. Prophet in Arizona, you're on the air. Go ahead. Enlighten me, Prophet. Enlighten me, O gracious one.
Okay, this is a serious call about Obama, so just let me finish. I totally disagree with your decision to push back the release date of the Obama Deception 2 until March, and I have a couple of suggestions. Number one, the best way to end the Obama Deception 2 is with mugshots of all his puppet master controllers. You should put a black and white photo of the globalist banksters holding a little sign under their chin with their name and home addresses on it.
Well, it's funny you say this. Are you psychic or are you spying on us? That's exactly what we're doing, is that they've got to be brought to justice before they leave office, or it'll set the precedent for total takeover. That is actually pretty much how the film ends. We were going to have a prison.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Okay. I really want their names and home addresses to be put on a little placard under their chin instead of, you know...
So let me guess, you lied. You're not really an Obama supporter.
Well, I asked John if I could go slightly off topic in the second hour. So let me just finish, please. You put a booking number under their chin as if they're already in jail. And I'm talking about the home addresses for David Rothschild, David Rockefeller, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Ted Turner, George Soros, Henry Kissinger, Ziggy Brzezinski, Maurice Strong, people like that. Number two, I also think that you should put Obama's birth certificate in Obama Deception 2.
Brother, I got to jump. You're not an Obama supporter. You're a smart guy, though. You were a real wise guy. He actually guessed how we're looking at ending the film. I can't put it out any earlier, okay, because I got to have time to produce the DVDs, promote it, everything, and I'm still not done with it. And I'm not going to... If I put it out now, it's very powerful. If I finish it in December, have it mastered and manufactured in, say, late January, pre-sales in February, have it come out in March, it'll sell less than if I release it in December, but I don't care about that. I care about when I air it on prisonplanet.tv and the DVDs go out, people are going to have watching parties with it and stuff, and give it to Obama victims, Obama slaves, Obama zombies, Obama sheep, Obama, and... Then when it goes on YouTube, because it'll go on YouTube, you know, a day after I put it on prisonplanet.tv. I mean, I don't try to make money off this. Not that it's bad to make money. I make money selling other stuff that you need to put these weapons out. And it is a weapon system, and I want 20 million views on it. on YouTube and other platforms in the first month. So, and believe me, if I start putting their home addresses and things, then it really pushes I'm already asking for it, okay? Believe me, I'm already asking for it. You want me to push any harder? I mean, my problem is I can't control myself. I probably will. I mean, it's just, whatever. I'm kind of like Tosh Plumlee. I'm just like, let's just go. You scum want it. They didn't know they could stack crap that high. That's all I could say. And all their snot-nosed supporters, I mean, the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. And I just want them to be free, but they think they're on the winning team like the Nazis did. A bunch of idiots.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
My friends.
Research shows that the next Great Depression is inevitable and unstoppable. It is suicide to not be prepared. Some reviews are already saying that Locusts on the Horizon is one of the best prepper books ever written. It provides over 1,100 pages for the full spectrum of vital prepper knowledge. It is encyclopedic in scope and size on how to prepare for the next Great Depression or a whole host of other looming threats. Whether it's a grid-down situation or the economic collapse that will be the next Great Depression, this book is affordable for everyone. The lives of you and your family are priceless, and this book could save them for only $2.99. Keep your family alive and together no matter what happens. You can read Locusts on the Horizon right now on any computer, any tablet, smartphone, or even online through the Amazon cloud. Time is running out. The time to prepare is now. Your copy of Locusts on the Horizon is available immediately on Amazon, or you can go to locustsonthehorizon.com. Again, that's locustsonthehorizon.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We've got some chilling news coming up in the next segment. U.S. Senate says right to keep and bear arms is debatable, and that they need to go ahead and ban it. We've got autocrat Feinstein defends high-tech Stasi surveillance state in op-ed. Military coalition rallies, demands end of government shutdown. That's just some of the news up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Now the former San Diego mayor has been charged with felony, false imprisonment, and battery. All right, let's go ahead and go back to your phone calls. Let's talk to Adolf in Michigan, listening on 94.5 FM. And Adolf, I'm sorry for making you hold so long. Thank you for being on the air with us. Tell me about Obamacare.
Well, Alex, I've been on hold for a while, so I try to summarize everything I wanted to say real quick. Number one, U.S. taxpayers have financed the globe. And number two, the U.S. corporations that are big and global have no allegiance to their own country. Number three, capitalism or socialism don't have to be an all-or-nothing thing. And number four, Barack Obama is my president. He's president of the United States, and I support the president.
Well, I hate to be mean to you. You sound like a really nice guy who's probably down and out and just is hoping for something. Let me try to just be clear here with you. The multinationals that are raping this country wrote this. And, of course, when it wrecks it, you're going to want more and then go for the next thing as they dangle the carrot and you follow it off the edge of the cliff. I predicted exactly how all this would go because they've done it in countless countries. They're following, it'd be like if I saw my wife making pancakes and I predicted the ingredients. I didn't predict anything. I know what's on the box of instant pancake mix. Shake and bake, like Bobby says. And this is shake and bake here, my friend. This is a predetermined plan, and they know your mentality, and you say it's not an all-or-nothing thing. they're not going to give you the free health care. Okay? The free health care was already there on Medicare and Medicaid. This health care has gotten screwed up since government got involved in the last 50 years. Most places that have socialist health care, like England, are hellholes. A few places have it pretty good because in Northern Europe, they will actually administer things properly. And still, it's like 75% taxes, but you do have real, free, decent health care. The problem is now they're phasing in eugenics and privatizing to do it. We're going right to the privatization like England's now doing, where it's double gang rape. In fact, it shouldn't be called Obamacare. It should be called double gang rape care. I mean, Affordable Care Act, how about Affordable Rape Act? I mean, this is a raping. And and the poor Obama supporters call in and go, you know, we finance the world. We finance the bankers. We bail out trillions. Can I have something? And the thing is, they're not going to give you anything because you don't have an army. You don't have billions to lobby. You don't run black ops squads. I mean, you just can't. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and due process and an active, involved people was supposed to support you and give you a free market so you had a chance in a market to get the health care you wanted. The big insurance companies came in, took it over, gamed it, cheated the whole system, and now they've decided, hey, these sheep will put up with anything. Let's double their premiums and take away their health care. How's that sound?
You just touched the tip of the iceberg.
But Obama's your president. And, I mean, are you really an Obama supporter?
I voted for him. He's not going to be able to run again, and I'm worried about who we're going to have to pick from.
Okay, but do you understand you've been conned? I mean, do you understand Obama does this on everything?
It hasn't been Obama. It's been a lot of people that have conned me.
So you forgive him. Well, see, that's why he's a good president then. As long as you feel good, it's like the Japanese saying, if you're going to be raped, go ahead and lay down and enjoy it.
With over 3,000 years of historic use, pure silver continues to be one of nature's most reliable and effective agents against fighting viruses, mold, fungus, bacteria, pathogens, and parasites. At Silver Lungs, we have developed a reliable and easy-to-use full production system for creating endless pure nano-silver solutions right from the convenience and comfort of your home. Your self-produced nano-silver solutions can be applied topically to the skin. For many who are new to silver that wish to try silver for the first time, we offer a full line of consumables and cosmetics, such as our 2-ounce nano-silver nasal sprays, our nano-silver soap, and our most popular product, the all-natural nano-silver gel. Visit www.silverlungs.com to learn more about the industry-leading technology of the Silver Lungs system. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Alex Jones here, and I want to tell you about a longtime friend of the show, My Patriot Supply. As you might remember, this is the company that stood up to the DHS and exposed FEMA's secret plan to begin hoarding emergency survival food. It has always been my belief that it's key to stand behind companies who share the same values as their fellow patriots. My Patriot Supply brings us their exclusive Patriot Pantry brand, along with many other fine preparedness products. I personally store and use their high-quality products. It tastes great, and it's easy to store for up to 25 years. For a limited time, you can save $50 instantly on a 4-week supply of food, along with other special offers. Visit mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today. With the New World Order making rapid advances on every front, it is essential to prepare with My Patriot Supply today.
Ben Swan here. We are winning. Alternative media is challenging and beating mainstream media, and it's imperative for the liberty movement to continue this momentum. However, independent media cannot win without the support of sponsors and advertisers like Diamond Gusset Jeans. For over 26 years, Diamond Gusset has been owned by patriots with products designed for patriots. When I put on a pair of Diamond Gusset jeans, I enjoy the quality, comfort, durability, and style. Most importantly, my wife really likes them as well. From the cotton to the last stitch, Diamond Gusset bucks the industry standard by producing a 100% all-American product. Another reason for my endorsement. So Ben Swan is asking you to go visit diamondliberty.com right now. With promo code BEN, you will receive a 20% off discount on a pair of male or female Diamond Gusset jeans. Remember, diamondliberty.com, and you are directly supporting the growth of independent media.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
Chaos is hanging around, put your ear to the ground and shudder from the sound. The death machine ain't slowing down, it's gaining pound for pound.
We've got top survivalist guru James Wesley Rawles, best-selling author, joining us to give us an update, his take on the EBT cards going down and the default and all the rest of it that he has said years ago and then even months ago here on the show would be the build-up towards something big. Middle of next year is what he's predicting. I want to go back to Obama supporters here in just a moment. That's Shooter Jennings, great patriot and listener of the show, bringing us into this hour. I've got to basically break a few things down here, folks. Listening to these Obama supporters, if you just tuned in, you missed them. They really are desperate. They're like, Obama's my president. He cares about me. It would have been bad with another president. I know healthcare.gov doesn't work. I know it's terrible. This is meant to bring the system down, so I'll finally get socialism. And I'm explaining, you don't have any lobbyists. You don't even have any special interest for your socialism. That's bad enough because it always gets taken over. This has already been taken over. And it will destroy this society and culture. And they don't know what to say. It's very, very sad. And these are real Obama supporters that have been calling in. We've had a few people being sarcastic, but it's going exactly as I thought it would go because they've done this in country after country before us. The globalists know what they're doing. Chris and Mash, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Here's my take on this because I actually do support Obama. You know, I'm not going to be sarcastic and I'm not a fake caller. Sorry, it kind of sounds like an NPR voice, but there are people around. I really want, I didn't want Romney to get in, and I did want Obama to get in, mostly because people need to feel some pain before anything changes. And I knew I could see Obama. I'm a big Gerald Celente fan. I could see that Obama was going to be destructive. I could see that what he was going to do, and I want him to do it because, like Jesse Ventura says, for example, he wants to reinstate the draft because people aren't feeling any pain from the wars. And can you at least agree with me that if, you know...
Yes, I understand, and even Ron Paul said this last Friday. We've tried to defeat Obamacare. We've been moral. Their constituents are too dumbed down and too confused and too desperate and too wanting and just too gullible. They're chumps. I feel sorry for them, actually. It's very sad, actually, how conned they are, and they just can't believe they've been conned, so they'll go deeper into the con. And the harder you try to pull out of the con, the harder it ties down around your arm. You never get out of it. So go ahead and let them have it now. The problem is they'll still blame it on people that don't support it. You cannot underestimate how desperate and wanting and, quite frankly, pathetic the welfare class is. I mean, it's very, very sad. But, I mean, do you think anything would be bad enough?
I'm not sure, but I have one question that I've been dying to ask you, actually, is you're obviously a smart guy. You're an informed guy. You know what's going on. And I need to know how somebody like you could have, I believe you have 3 children. How could you have children? You know this is a slave society. You can see into the future, the destruction of the economy. How could you possibly justify having children and putting them in front of that with the knowledge that you have?
Well, I think it's my duty. In fact, I appreciate your call. I want to have more children because we always go through adversity, and a lot of times the best children are people that have gone through adversity. And I'm not going to give up my life force just because the rest of society is falling down around me. I want to build a core of people to rebuild the future and to capture the future and to go to space. And so they may be destroyed. But this, this attitude of smart people, informed people don't have kids because we're outnumbered by all the dumbed down welfare people and everything else, that's just giving that system the future. That's giving up. I haven't given up. I'm telling people how negative stuff is and how bad it is so we can change course. I'm not there trying to demoralize people. And I think a lot of people misgauge what I'm saying when I talk about how evil the system is. They say, why are you trying to scare us? And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to tell you it's already happening. You should be scared to not take action. Look at this headline, Fox News. U.S. Army defines Christian ministers as domestic hate group. I mean, this is what the U.S. Army is now like, basically might as well be captured by Kim Jong-un. This is the type of frustrating garbage we're dealing with here. Now, I know we have Joshua there. We're going to go to Mike in California who says he's an Obama supporter. Then we're going to go to our guest who we're getting on the Skype line right now. Mike in California, you claim to be an Obama supporter. I will know instantly if you sound desperate and beaten and crushed and are just hoping, or if you're someone lying to get through on air to make fun of Obamacare or expose it. Mike, go ahead.
You're so funny, Mr. Jones. You know, I do support Obama. I am a socialist. I'm a Democrat. I support Obamacare. You are obviously a double agent. I saw you on the Piers Morgan interview, and, the bathrooms are dirty, and you're jumping around all crazy, acting like a fool. You brought a lot of discredit to yourself and your so-called movement.
So hold on a minute. That is now seen by many sociologists and media watchers as one of the biggest things in TV in decades. They admitted they had double the regular viewers that night, and that the higher exec said, don't have him on, he crushed us too bad. I actually talked to Piers. I went and confronted Piers Morgan, jumped out in Houston. They let me in the back door at a gun range. He totally freaked out. I talked to their head producer, and they said, no, you did beat us, and they're afraid to have you back on. We want to have you back on. I shook people out of their coma. Just because you say I failed, because I told him you want our guns to enslave us, and if you try it again, 1776 will commence. They don't. That's what made us win in 1775, 1776, in 1836. I'm going to go down to an armed march in San Antonio at the Alamo this Saturday. I'll be there, buddy. Okay? And you call in and tell me I'm a failure, you're a failure. Okay? You're a socialist because you want to suck off other people. And you got Warren Buffett, the big banker behind it all, who's the biggest recipient of bailout money, lobbying to raise taxes on the middle class. And Obamacare is a giant scam, and you're mad that it hasn't worked. So you call in and do the classic thing that Cass Sunstein, the cognitive infiltrator, said, claim I'm an agent. Well, if I'm an agent, we need more of them like it. I'm a red-blooded American. My family on my mother's and father's side came over on the Mayflower. My family was involved in the whole Texas Revolution like nobody else you can find. If I want to, I can go to the special memorial things at the Alamo by the Daughters Republic of Texas. Be down there with Davy Crockett's descendants and people. You sit there and you tell me I'm a failure? You're pathetic. I'm out point. My name's Alexander Emmerich Jones. I'm fearless in the face of the New World Order, like my ancestors were against other tyrants, and you've got the nerve to call in and call me an agent. How dare you? Now go ahead. Give us more. Hey, do you like your Obamacare? Tell me right now.
You can have total peace in this world. We must first have total destruction. And out of the ashes will arise a new world order. Who is who? It's us. We are the new world order. And out of the ashes of this whole chaos and apocalypse will be the new world order. It'll be us. We will be left. And not you, Alex Jones.
All right, I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or if he's being real. I don't think he's an Obama supporter. I think he's a hater of this broadcast. All right, listen, I'm going to let you go. We got our guest on the line. Shifting gears now, James Wesley Rawles has been one of the top survivalist experts out there, survivalistblog.com. He's a best-selling fiction and nonfiction writer, survivalblog.com, and he's with us till about 45 after, and he's a very busy fellow. We appreciate him coming on. We're going to break here in a few minutes, but I wanted you to come on, sir, because you, a few years ago on the show and then a month ago on the show, you said expect to see welfare problems, expect to see the EBTs, expect to see them move towards default middle of next year. And I wanted you to talk now about what we saw with just a minor glitch. The EBT folks in California said, one more glitch, we burn Los Angeles. So they're conscious of their role as the brigades of the socialist takeover. And do you think this was a test to see what would happen? Suddenly the EBTs had unlimited money on them in some areas. What does James Wesley Rawles think is going on?
Well, Alex, I don't think it was necessarily a test. It may have been a glitch just as they claimed, but it certainly was illustrative of what we'll face in the event of a grid down collapse. If the power grids go down, the EBT system will go down simultaneously. And that one factor just by itself, not to mention all the other multitude of factors associated with the power grid failure, but just the EBT system failure alone will be enough to spark major rioting in all the major cities in the United States.
Undoubtedly, and now we see massive armored vehicles, brand new ones, not just surplus, by the scores to each major city as they openly train to take on Christians. That's the Fox News headline today. This is really the coming out of their plan. Does that signify that they may be preparing to actually execute some type of purge, or what is it?
Well, the military vehicle release has been more to do with the peace dividend of the scale back of operations in Iraq and Afghanistan than anything else. They essentially over-purchased, and in typical government fashion, they're releasing those for pennies on the dollar, in effect. These police departments are getting them basically just for the cost of transport. In fact, they can even go pick them up if they'd like, rather than pay to have.
What was the book he wrote in the early 90s predicting the collapse and the globalist takeover and all that? Because in that, you described all the armored vehicles that the police would be given.
Well, yeah, the number of vehicles has definitely increased. It's all, of course, at taxpayers' expense.
Hold on, stay there. I want to get your key. I know, stay there, James. I'm going to come back. Alex Jones here. And I want to tell you about a longtime friend of the show, My Patriot Supply. As you might remember, this is the company that stood up to the DHS and exposed FEMA's secret plan to begin hoarding emergency survival food. It has always been my belief that it's key to stand behind companies who share the same values as their fellow patriots. My Patriot Supply brings us their exclusive Patriot Pantry brand, along with many other fine preparedness products. I personally store and use their high-quality products. It tastes great, and it's easy to store for up to 25 years. For a limited time, you can save $50 instantly on a 4-week supply of food, along with other special offers. Visit mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today. With the New World Order making rapid advances on every front, it is essential to prepare with My Patriot Supply today.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
To thank you for being a loyal listener, we have a limited time freebie offer for you. Claim your free heirloom tomato seeds, just pay shipping, right now at 123freeseeds.com. These aren't ordinary seeds. These are heirloom, non-genetically modified super seeds that are open pollinated and can be grown, harvested and replanted endlessly. These survival seeds are actually more valuable than gold in a crisis. Go to 123freeseeds.com and you can get an airtight storage packet of 150 super seeds free while supplies last to say thank you for being a loyal listener. First come, first served. Just cover shipping. Go to 123freeseeds.com now to see if your free heirloom seeds are still available. That's 123freeseeds.com.
Not all protein powders are created equal. One World Whey is the first cold temperature processed, 100% all natural, unrefined, bioactive, grass pasture raised milk whey protein. Far from being another ordinary protein supplement, One World Whey is a full spectrum nutrition power food in and of itself, providing overall life-building benefits that touch virtually every human's life that other protein supplements don't deliver on. What are the benefits? Boosts the immune system, anti-aging properties, helps detoxification, helps lose body fat, supports excellent blood sugar levels, excellent for building muscle, increases in energy levels, enhances the feelings of youth, energy for exercise and recovery. Who's it for? Anyone wanting to feel healthy and have energy. Busy people, office workers, growing children, students, teachers, seniors, people recovering from illness, and high-performance athletes. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Folks, at 45 after, when Mr. Rawls leaves us, I will go to Joshua, Frank, and John, who are Obama supporters. I'm giving you guys a chance today to tell me how evil I am, because I want to stop your free health care, even as it fails. And now you say, well, don't worry, it'll get fixed because Obama loves you. That's coming up. This is a short segment, long segment coming up with James Wesley Rawles, top survivalist expert, geopolitically studying what's happening. I know you've got points that you're going to want to make because I want to ask you what's front and center on your radar. And I want to get into preparedness and how important doing that is in this collectivist system. Now more than ever, that's the tool these tyrants have always used on people, is the fact that they're dependent on the system. But James Wesley Rawles, what do you make of the IMF, the communist Chinese lecturing us, saying the world market will plunge if we don't go deeper into debt, if we don't support Obamacare? We really are under globalism now, where we're told every day that foreigners run our lives like we're a third world country under the IMF and World Bank. And what do you make of all the debt limit talk and the government shutdown? Where do you see all this going? What do you think's happening behind the scenes?
Okay, well, Alex, just to back up a little bit, we were talking about military vehicles going out to police departments.
Yes, you got cut off.
I think the more important issue, rather than try to look at it from a conspiratorial standpoint, is if anything, our government now recognizes the threat of IEDs. And for the last 10 years, we've been having servicemen returning from Iraq and Afghanistan with a tremendous amount of knowledge of IEDs. And I'm sure that knowledge scares the powers that be to death. And I'm sure they would love to all be running around in armored limousines and love to see all the police departments fully equipped with mine protective vehicles, because there may come a time when they need them. There's now 10 years worth of returned servicemen now in the civilian world with that body of knowledge. They spent 10 years detecting and disarming IEDs. They know them inside and out. So I think that's the bigger issue.
I mean, you're absolutely right. In fact, they said 3 years ago, they said every department the FBI told departments will face IED. Veterans are the #1 threat. They will bomb you. In fact, we can pull that report up. I think that was Associated Press. So that's what you're alluding to. Now, they could also false flag it to start a civil war. Knowing the globalists, being an Army intelligence, being a guy people respect, you're a smart guy, what do you think? What's the position they're in right now? Are things going well for them? Because I see folks waking up, but they don't care. They're just moving forward.
Well, I think the powers that be are kind of running scared at this point, because they've created an economic monster that they may not be able to escape themselves. They may be hoping to create a crisis, but in fact, they're going to create a crash, and it's going to come back to bite them. And there's going to be a tremendous groundswell of conservative, patriotic feeling in the American citizenry that's going to demand a return to small government. And if anything comes out of the current debt crisis with the federal government, it's going to be that all incumbent politicians are probably going to get turned out on their ear.
Wow. Well, I will say this. The power structure looks completely scared right now. And they should be scared because they've robbed everything blind and set up a fraudulent system that's so kleptocratic that there's no way to hold it up, no matter how much they raise taxes. What do you think the Obama supporters are going to do when they don't get their free Obamacare now and it actually wrecks what they had?
Well, we could very well see more civil unrest. I think there'll be a growing realization that we simply cannot afford Obamacare. It is so huge and so all-encompassing and will affect so many segments of our economy that it's absolutely unaffordable. And as tax revenues continue to crumble and as interest rates go up, that's the real killer, our national debt will not be affordable, especially with Obamacare. There very well could be some chaos that comes out of this.
Sure, but I mean, they always plan to bring in this and wreck it fully and then further nationalize it, but have the profits of select corporations. But I mean, what are they going to do now that they've been so good at their fraud that it's like overdone?
Yeah, at this point, I think the people are realizing what Obamacare really means. People were thinking it was, one of those money for nothing kind of things. But in effect, it's just a very heavy and regressive tax on the middle class and upper class in this country. The middle class is going to get absolutely hammered by the Obamacare expenses. And even the leftists who supported Obamacare, when they see their cost of insurance each year jumping to $10,000 to $15,000 a year, even they will be dissuaded.
But then they'll just be listed as extremists, so that makes it okay. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order and like us on Facebook.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
You are either with the Republic or against it.
James Wesley Rawles, best-selling author, is our guest. Survivalblog.com is his site. Infowars.com is ours. You leave us in about 12 minutes or so. I'll hit some news and take your phone calls. There is some breaking news. All right, you got cut off again by the break, James. Looking at this, I've been asking some of my questions. I want to give you the floor here to talk about whatever you think is most important and get back into the EBT cards and where society is. We have news clips where the folks in Los Angeles said, if you ever have our EBT cards not work again, that's kind of like if you missed a payroll, if your employee said, we'll burn your office down, or if the check didn't get deposited right, or if somebody didn't send me a bill, or if I didn't pay somebody a few days later, if they called me up and said, you didn't pay me for those products, I'm going to burn your office down. We have the video clips up on Infowars.com where folks are on the news saying, we're going to go Rodney King and burn down L.A. if you're ever late again. I mean, we really are living hostage to this now. And, you know, Michael Moore wants to make sure everybody has their guns taken so nobody can protect themselves. But James Wesley Rawles, I wanted to give you the floor to talk about whatever else you think is most important here.
Well, I think the key issue is the whole concept of wealth redistribution and theft. Every month, our wallets are being emptied under color of law for wealth transfer that's going to people who have no intention of finding work. And the expectation that has developed amongst those people over decades, even generations, is that money is going to continue to come. And with that expectation of entitlement, there is a tremendous animus that's developed as basically biting the hand that's feeding. And I think that we can only expect that to grow worse with time. The animosity that exists is palpable. And if you look at what happened on Saturday evening in Louisiana at those two Walmart stores, it went beyond just indifference. It was absolutely spiteful when they announced over the loudspeaker that the EBT system had been restored, and everyone who had been busy stealing food with the knowledge that they only had a couple of dollars on their EBT cards and they had hundreds of dollars worth of food in their shopping carts. Instead of putting that food back on the shelves like any rational and moral person would do, they threw up their hands and walked away, leaving thousands and thousands of dollars of perishable, in some case frozen foods, sitting in grocery carts. It shows the level of animus that exists. And if and when we do see a long-term outage of EBT payments, SNAP payments, in a large number of cities, we are going to see the real rough underbelly. We're going to see what I like to refer to as the smelly underlayers of the onion being pulled back. We're going to see human nature at its very worst exposed.
And the socialists, the controllers, the globalists, they're fully aware of this. They've done this in country after country. And they're now don't want anybody coming together. They say the Tea Party's racist so that minorities won't go be part of the liberty movement, even though minorities are. It's a clear divide and conquer strategy, but I don't see it working for them. They're trying to sandwich old Roman-style control mechanisms over areas they controlled, like the city of Rome itself that was diverse, with a high-tech integration. But instead, even the elite themselves are cowardly and backstabbing and lazy and weasel-like now compared to the technocrats of just 50 years ago. And the technocrats say that themselves. So what do you expect then to happen gut level? Because you usually don't make a lot of predictions, but you said, you were on a month or so ago, you said you see the middle of next year as a really bad time. I mean, what do you expect societally, not just short-term, but long-term? How will this all unravel? What will happen if you've got 101 million people on food assistance who think anybody with money needs to have, be murdered?
Well, Alex, it's definitely difficult to time everything. As I mentioned before, it's all predicated upon interest rates at this point, because once interest rates spike, the game will be over. The national debt payments will be essentially unaffordable, and the foreign creditors are no longer going to trust American paper. They're going to demand ridiculously high rates of return to keep rolling over their treasury paper. And at that point, the game will be over. For a personal planning standpoint, I think that your listeners need to recognize that spike in interest rates is probably going to take place within the next year, and they need to get their beans, bullets, and Band-Aids squared away. I think that we're going to be going through some very traumatic times, and people need to really be ready to hunker down. They need to get to know their neighbors. It's time to team up with your neighbors, to train up with your neighbors, and to stock up with your neighbors, because supplies are going to be very tight. The purchasing value of the U.S. dollar is going to absolutely plummet overnight. We're going to see mass inflation. And unless you have your money primarily in tangibles, folks are going to see themselves wiped out overnight.
You know, in my gut, I've been prepared: firearms, food, basic training, skin a buck, run a trot line. Just growing up as a Texan, and most Americans that grew up in rural areas, or at least had family that were from rural areas, understand being self-sufficient is just second nature. But I've always halfway been embarrassed having our main sponsors be survival stuff, because even though I knew it was important and people should do it, I wasn't sure it would ever be needed by everybody. Certainly in certain circumstances, people are always going to use something: hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, problems. But in the last few years, I felt better and better about promoting stuff, because it's just essential. They want us dependent. It's clear that we need to be independent. But I've gone from thinking maybe 20, 30, 40% chance that I was going to need to use my food and medicine and things to now like 90%. The only question is, when will it all kick off? When will it all fall through? And all the different Pentagon and British Ministry of Defense reports, they're all concurring and basically quietly getting ready as well. Is there any way to stop collapse, A, and B, what's the gamut it runs of the level of type collapse we could be under?
Well, I think there's no way to really prevent a collapse completely. They might be able to delay it for up to several more years. One possibility that I've considered is that there could be a major crisis in Europe that is going to virtually destroy the purchasing power of the euro and the European credit system. And if that were to happen before there was something comparable in the United States, there could be a huge rush of funds from Europe and from east of the Caucasus into the United States. So we could actually be the short-term beneficiaries of a crisis, whether it's manufactured crisis or just an unavoidable crisis in Europe, for a couple of years. And that could kind of prop things up for the American credit system temporarily, only because we would be a relative safe haven. The U.S. dollar is trashed just like the euro, but if the perception is that the dollar is slightly safer than the euro, then the money may come rushing to the United States if there is a crisis in Europe. So we may have a couple of years if that were to happen. If interest rates spike and before a European crisis, though, I think we'll see the crisis in the United States first, and things could very well fall apart within the next year. If there's a credit crisis that spawned in Europe, and it very well could come out of the recent news from Mrs. Lagarde, that they're talking about a 10% levy of all bank accounts in Europe, that very well could spark a crisis in Europe that could benefit the dollar in the short term.
And that has been kind of the Anglo-Americans establishment's rule, create crises other places to put off the implosion here while they prepare for the implosion and try to capitalize off of all the crises they've helped exacerbate or create. And now they're telling us that our $17 trillion debt's not the problem. It's that we're not getting more debt quick enough to the bankers.
Yeah, they're frantically trying to reinflate a bubble right now. They're trying to reinflate both the commercial and the residential real estate market debt bubble in the United States, and all the mini bubbles that go along with those. Actually, the deflationary forces are winning out in the short term, and I think the amazing thing will be watching the rapid turnover from deflation to inflation practically overnight. The American people are going to feel so whipsawed by that. It's going to just absolutely blindside most people, because they currently have the expectation of low inflation and, in fact, deflation on some things. But practically overnight, once interest rates start to spike, as we have a repeat of the 2008 global credit crisis, people are suddenly going to be faced with the situation of gasoline jumping from $3 a gallon to $15 a gallon, and the same for milk, $15 a gallon milk. That can't go on too long before there won't be absolute blood in the streets here in America.
Today I took calls from Obama supporters, and most of them were serious. They weren't sarcastic. Some were sarcastic callers. And they would literally call in and go, "I'm poor, I need something free." And I would go, "You could have already gotten Medicare, Medicaid, or charity care. This gets rid of that. I've read the legislation. It was written by the worst insurance companies to shut down their competition, to lower the quality of care, to make... Now it's 50 million people that don't have it get it. It's a tax. Healthcare.gov isn't designed to work. We broke that last week. Now it's confirmed. This is a giant fraud. You know, Obama signed NDAA, said he wouldn't. Obama said the NSA wasn't spying. They were. Obama said he wasn't arming al-Qaeda. He is. He's there to con you. Do you understand this? And they just go, "No, he likes me. I'm getting it. It's free." Well, okay, he's smart. This will wreck it, and he'll bring in socialism. I mean, they really are useful idiots, and I feel sorry for them. I mean, what will they do during another Great Depression? For those that don't know, they've hyped the bubble up so big, folks. There's no way to get out of this now. It's kind of like drawing straws, 10 different ways to be chopped up in pieces. And then the government is saying anybody who's prepared and good and virtuous, we're the enemy. Historically, government will try to come dig us out of our holes and make us be their slaves, because all they know how to do. But they'll be so busy with their own minions burning everything. I mean, this is really a hellish scenario now. And what I'm saying is, James, is I've gone from knowing this was a possibility, but thinking, oh, no, it won't happen, to now realizing it's a probability and now becoming a certainty. And it's just really a horrible realization that you've been right, and Joel Skousen's been right, and so many others have been. And now I see, like, troops constantly on the streets of Austin and checkpoints and stuff. They're getting ready. I mean, I can't believe they really did this to us.
Well, yes, you're right. I'm not the only one saying this. Joel Skousen's one. Mark Faber is another. Peter Schiff is another. We've all been warning people that this was coming, but the realization is now that it's coming a lot quicker than we thought, and I think it's going to come unraveled more quickly when it does than we thought. Partly because they've been reinflating these credit bubbles artificially with the zero interest rate program, for example, our zero interest rate policy, ZIRP. When the inevitable crisis does happen, it's going to be far, far worse now than it would have been, simply because they've created an artificial recovery. We really have had no real recovery since 2008. What we've had is an artificial recovery, and when things do fall apart, they're going to fall apart so spectacularly that, and so quickly, that it's going to astound most people. And even the powers that be that are trying to manipulate all this to fulfill their own agenda, I think are going to be taken by surprise by the severity of the unrest that takes place. This is going to make Occupy New York and Occupy Wall Street look very small by comparison.
Oh, of course. It'll be 1,000 times bigger and real. And, of course, Rachel Maddow, who we have the footage of the police attacking the vets, and then the vets fight back. She edited that off and said the vets attack them. When all this goes down, they're going to lie about everything. Folks have to know that you think we see weaponized media now. It's about to get 10 times worse.
Yeah, it very well could. I think we could see a situation that could spiral completely out of control. And as I mentioned in a previous interview with you, the real linchpin is the three Western power grids and them staying up. If they go down, all bets are off.
Is it a good idea that they're going to be testing and turning on and off the Eastern power grid in a FEMA drill next month?
Yeah, I've read about that. I think it's legitimate. I don't think it's going to be used as cover for
okay, good.
a false flag attack, although it conceivably could be.
Or, I mean, as screwed up as the federal government is now, they can turn it off and it doesn't turn back on. Your new book's out. It's already a bestseller, Expatriates, a novel of the coming global collapse. You can get it at Amazon.com. We sold out of it. We got some of them. I look forward to talking to you again very soon, sir. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Alex. God bless you and your listeners.
God bless you, too. Man, I wish that this wasn't all so horrible. But, hey, it's good news. We're here. We're aware of what's probably coming, and we're getting ready, trying to hold it back. People are always, it hadn't got as bad as you said yet, but it's pretty bad, but isn't it as bad? We're like, yeah, we're trying to hold it back. And then when it all finally hammers down, they'll say, you never said it was going to collapse. This country's already collapsing. Our health is collapsing. Our families are collapsing. I mean, Detroit, L.A., it's all collapsing. The L.A. mayor has said they're collapsing. Get the film I made with Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation. Joel Skousen details the safest places to live and how to secure your home. Invaluable film, along with a big color book with the maps, InfoWarsStore.com. If you haven't gotten this, the Secure Home, Strategic Relocation, and Strategic Relocation, the film, they're all available discounted. I mean, I produced the film at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And with radiological issues and the thyroid, we have the best Nation iodine out there, folks. Learn details at InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com. We're going to talk to more Obamanoids straight ahead.
Pills, pills, pills. If you've tried to fix your ED with pills or supplements, listen up. My name's Matt Cook with GetEDSolutions.com, and I've developed a system that often fixes ED from home naturally, without medical intervention. How does it work? My system addresses the root cause of most ED, which is desensitization. Desensitization is not your fault, but it's the #1 reason men get embarrassed around women. The more they try, the more things don't work, and the solution is to fix desensitization through simple activities you do from home.
I purchased your product yesterday, and it was fantastic.
I have used your system for about 3 weeks, and I'm already seeing great results.
If you're one of the 52% of men who suffer from ED, you must visit GetEDSolutions.com for a special report and video that shows you how to fix ED from home fast without pills or supplements. Visit GetEDSolutions.com for my special report and video on fixing ED at home. GetEDSolutions.com. That's GetEDSolutions.com. GetEDSolutions.com.
You are now in the crosshairs. The NSA and the FBI are treating you like a criminal and monitoring your every move. Ron Paul said recently, the evidence of the totalitarian nature of this government is on display undeniably every day. What's taking place right now is a coup and the destruction of the Constitution. Fortunately, there is something you can do about it. Learn how to be invisible, lock down your privacy, and even disappear forever. Go to privacylockdown.com to learn how. That's privacylockdown.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only two ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Well, it came out last week under the new government shutdown and all the Great Depression that's being set up that women more and more going into prostitution, getting sugar daddies to pay their bills, including government women. And now report American women are selling hair, breast milk, eggs to make ends meet because of the great prosperity. Of course, Walmart came out and said it's some of the worst business they've ever seen. Of course, the real economy is going into a major depression, but that doesn't matter. Rachel Maddow says it's wonderful. And Palin says defaulting on our national debt is an impeachable offense. You bet it is. The Republicans have brought Obama everything he wanted, and he knows how dumb his constituents are. So now he's demanding even more, or he won't increase the debt limit. He won't sign off. So he doesn't want his Obamacare to go in right now. He wants to crash stuff so he can tell his constituents that the Republicans stole it from them. Joshua, then Frank, and John. Joshua says you support Obama. Go ahead. You're on the air, sir. Enlighten me.
Okay, well, I want to say first, I don't like everything Obama does, but I'll focus on what I really do like.
You get a tingle up your leg when you see him?
You know, I like the way he talks. I like the way he looks. I don't know if you've noticed, but Obama looks a lot like the bust of Akhenaten, and his wife looks like the bust of the mother.
So he's God, basically. No, yeah. And the flies like him, too.
And so when I see that, and I see that image being portrayed, you know, I look at the history of that, and I think of, you know, who was the son. You know, King Tut came afterwards, and I think of who King Tut's mother was, you know, Nefertiti. And so I look and see, do you know who looks just like Nefertiti?
Who is that?
Well, there's actually a couple people. One's more of a look-alike, and one actually looks identical. Winona Ryder actually looks exactly like Nefertiti. If you look at the bust and you look at pictures.
This is a really good. Are you an actual Obama supporter? You sound like a fruitcake, so you probably are.
Well, I mean, maybe I am a fruitcake, but I mean, if you look at, you know, he had other wives as well, like Kia, for example.
I appreciate your call. I get it. He's God. I get it. Let's talk to Frank in Wisconsin. Go ahead. You're on the air about the Affordable Care Act. What a joke, that name. Like the Patriot Act. How about the Dumbass Act? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're on the air, Frank.
Alex, love your show. What am I supposed to do? I'm a truck driver. I make about $50,000 a year. I got a wife at home, 3 kids.
Oh, they're going to double. You're going to double your premiums and gang rape you. That's a good deal.
I cannot afford $200 a week for the family health care that my job provides. So I got the state care. Now they're dumping us off of that. Now what am I supposed to do? I'm kind of like stuck.
No, I know, but you're not going to get it under this either. Is what you need to understand.
Afford $200 a week that I pay in taxes. I can't afford the provided health care. What am I supposed to do?
Sure, but they really don't give you. You already got it under Medicare and Medicaid. If you're only making $50,000 a year with a wife and all those kids, and it's charity care, they just don't tell you how to sign up for it. So you think you're going to get better and freer health care under rape care? I mean, Akhenaten care.
But what am I supposed to do? I don't know. But I'm sorry, I'm really upset right now. They just locked down my kid's school because of a domestic dispute like 3 blocks away. They got the whole SWAT team out there.
Because they're keeping you safe, Frank. I appreciate your call. Come on, don't be an extremist. I feel sorry for him. Obama supporter, XM244, John in Arizona. Go ahead, sir. You're on the air.
What's going on, Alex? How you doing, man? I appreciate all your good work. I did vote for Obama in 08, but you know what? I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. The reason why I'm disappointed is because I don't appreciate the fact that I got to be forced to take something. Because that's what the system.
Hold on. I got to go to break. I'm going to come back to you, John. You've been holding. I'm going to go to you. We got a racist here. He just said he doesn't like Obama now, even though he voted for him because he doesn't like to be made to do something. What's wrong in paying taxes to foreign banks that own insurance companies? The foreign banks wrote this bill, Obamacare, because they love you. They care. Extremist. We'll be right back in Overdrive, Infowars.com/show. Other extremist. Stay with us. This is so racist right now. This is so racist. Racist, racist, racist. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
I should have been asking all of these Obozo people. I shouldn't be so mean. They're just victims. I shouldn't be asking them, if they like it. I should be asking them if they've been able to sign up because no one's been able to. The 10% a week ago that thought they were, those were idiots that took a poll and thought they had. No one signs up. It's an NSA database. Just a total vicious fraud, not a screwed up system. Even Forbes is now confirming it's all fake. It's just a way for insurance companies to double premiums on everybody, and the whole system and then Medicare and Medicaid now will go bankrupt, and then they will fully nationalize it, cut health care quality, and you people won't be able to tell the difference. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, just America is done if people continue to be this gullible. But finishing up with John, so you were a supporter earlier on, and then now you don't like being made to do something. Well, what about made to pay taxes to the Federal Reserve through the IRS that's private? The Federal Reserve's private. What about how we've been conquered by these fraudsters, and people don't even know that? What about how the Supreme Court ruled, as I said years ago, before they ruled, it is a tax? And the power to tax, as George Washington said, is the power to destroy. In fact, one of the quotes is, there is no weapon of war greater than the power to tax. It is the desolator. It is the total siege.
You said it all along. Okay, you said it all along. It was the globalists that put off this tax upon people, and they undercovered, they hid it underneath this health care. They underneath it. I was deceived just like a lot of other people were in 08. Well, when he got elected the second time, I didn't vote for him. Why? Because I didn't want to be forced and then fined on something that I can't afford. If I can't afford it, then why fine me? There's nothing free about that. I'm in America, okay? America that was once a nation under God at one point in time. But that's no longer. And what I'm seeing is like they're cornering us into what you have been saying all along. They're cornering us. They're backing us down to where we're going to be forced to accept what this globalist union is going to put forth worldwide. And that goes with the IMF and World Bank. They're advising each and individual country into this system of which Warren Buffett says that the dollar will fade away, but the credit system will never die. Now, what's going to take its place? Is it going to be in the form of technology? Is it going to be to where I'm going to have to submit some kind of electronic thing for me to get health care? I mean, where's the money? The money's going.
That is exactly where it's going, and God bless you. I appreciate your call. Your phone's too bad. I got to go. I can barely understand it, but the points you're making, I do understand. That is the plan. They wreck it with big insurance companies and HMOs over 50 years, the best healthcare system in the world, the most innovative, the best care for everybody, the model of the world. They wreck it in 50 years with insiders gaming it, overcharging people, denying people, screwing it up. They're desperate. They're spending everything they got for healthcare. The so-called charity care is cruddy. It gets worse and worse. All right, you'll fix it. I want it. Gets even worse. Oh, come on. You'll make it better. And it's just the con game. It's like the Nigerian email. It's been around for almost 20 years, folks. The Nigerian email's been around since about 1995. So it's almost 20 years. Hard to believe it. Time flies like that. And they send it out, and people get, oh, I give $5,000, I get $10 million, or it varies. They give the $5,000, they wire it, the money doesn't come. We need 10. They don't want to admit they got conned, so they send 10. And then a lot of people I know that were conned by it are mad at me because I told them they were conned. And they go, no, Prince Abubi or whatever name it was, he was arrested or something. And I was sent a photo of my beloved prince. Now they have Nigerian scam princes in Austin running around everywhere. My dad's seen them. And I've seen them. Everyone bows down. Oh, it's the prince. They don't even have royalty in Nigeria. Everyone goes, oh, Abubi, Abubi. And that's what this is. It's Obama, free. The Obama phone lady was here, and she's like, I better get my free stuff soon. I haven't got it. And I'm like, honey, you're not going to get it. I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Peddling false dreams. It's what the con artist does. My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid